We are live.
Welcome to the K-Town Brothers podcast. Welcome to the K-Town Brothers podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your co-host, Uncle Jew. This is my brother, Kobe Wan Shinobi. And we're back.
What's up, man?
Oh, nothing, man. Conor McGregor got knocked the fuck out last night.
Oh shit, I didn't realize he was fighting. Who did he fight?
He fought this dude called Dustin Poirier,
Yeah.
some sort of Louisiana ass French name, I guess. This was their rematch. This was part two. So,
When did they fight the first time?
years ago,
Oh, okay.
the first time Connor knocked him out, and this time he knocked Connor out. So they're 1-1. So they'll probably go at it again at some point. But I don't know. I ain't really talk about them goddamn presidential pardons.
Yeah. No, I got a question first before we get to that.
Okay.
So, isn't McGregor retired?
Yeah, well, you know how that works.
Yeah, that's my question.
Yeah.
So does that mean like when I retire, that like every 2 years I'm gonna like go start writing computer programs and shit again or something? Like, is that how it works?
I guess. Because I don't know why they think that, being 28, 29, under 35, I don't even know how old Connor is. But I don't know why they think that when they're in their 20s or their 30s, they're going to fucking retire. I mean, granted, Connor made $100 something million. He could retire, but,
Yeah.
he
But
only
he's too
made $5
young.
million last night getting his ass kicked.
Damn.
Right. Yeah. It's too fucking young. You got to do something. And him and that proper 12 fucking whiskey. I still haven't tried it yet. And I hear it's garbage.
Oh, I
But
didn't know he had a whiskey.
yeah, he came out with a whiskey right before he claimed he was retiring a
Oh,
year
okay.
ago or a couple years ago. I heard somebody say that he hadn't fought in over a year
Uh-huh.
because I know he fought Cowboy. That was probably about a year ago. So,
Mm-hmm.
but it must be nice to work once a year, huh? Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, if I could do it, I guess I probably would too. I don't
Yeah.
know though. Like, I don't like people trying to punch me in the face. So,
Right. Well, you
I mean,
get
once a
used to
year
it, I
though.
guess. I like Tyson's famous little phrase where he was like, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
I mean, it's true. That is so true.
Yeah. 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 So I don't know, man. Fucking he was definitely supposed to retire. Now that dude that just retired, Khabib Nurmagomedov,
Mm-hmm.
uh he said he's retired, but yet he's all on fucking, YouTube and everywhere else talking to Dana White about, fighting again. Now
Yeah.
his dad just died right before his last fight,
Uh-huh.
and he's undefeated. But like he claimed he was retiring because his mother didn't want him to do it or whatever the case. So
And now he's like, "Fuck
now,
you, man."
right now, all of a sudden he's back. He
Yeah.
hasn't committed to a fight, but he says he's not going to hold up the division because he's the current champion.
Oh,
But
okay.
he's supposedly retired, so he's got
Mm-hmm.
to relinquish the title or fucking fight for it or defend it.
You know
So
what? In my opinion, if those any of those dudes that would be like hardcore, I'd be like, okay, you win the championship, and you just drop that shit. Let everybody else compete for it again and
take
climb your ass back up the ladder again and
it.
snatch it away from somebody. That's how you
Right.
prove that you are the greatest.
Yeah. Yeah. But I guess it's like once you're the champ, it's like you don't want to give that up. You know what I mean? You worked your ass off to get there, I guess, to some degree, doing push ups and jogging and throwing punches
Yeah.
in the gym. But not to downplay it at all. But
Honestly, I kind of feel like they should do that all the time anyway. Like, the way football or whatever, like every year.
Every year
Set.
they gotta. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I never thought about that. Make them fight for the title every year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would kind of make sense. Because then I guess the fighters wouldn't be able to be so picky about picking fights
Yeah.
that they want to fight, because those are always the questions at the press conferences or whatever. They're always like, so what's next for you? And I don't know why they continue to ask that question when
Yeah.
every single fight, I can't talk today, when every single fighter always says, oh, I don't know, we'll see what happens. I got to
I think
talk
I'm
to the
gonna sit on
team.
the belt for a year and not do anything. Then I'm gonna
Right,
fight a scrub.
right. Let me see who I'm pretty sure I could beat their ass, and then I'll get in the ring with them. I keep my belt. and
Yeah.
and you know what, how fucking childish are these fucking WWE ass belts that they wear for the UFC? Like, growing up as a kid, you see, the intercontinental
Uh-huh.
champion, the world champion, the tag team champions, and they
Yeah.
got these goofy ass belts. And then it's like, what, like, there's nothing practical about that belt. It's just
Yeah.
big and shiny. And it's but these grown ass men, some of probably some of the hardest motherfuckers in the world, are all proud of this little fucking toy belt that they get. I mean, granted, the belt probably cost 60 grand or something, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's just like, I that part seems childish to me with the belt. Like,
Yeah, it
I
kind of
don't know
does.
if maybe they should be more like an Olympic trophy or something like that. But the
Hmm.
big stupid belt, that's just so silly to me. And the same thing with boxing. Again, not
Yeah.
to take anything away, because I can't even exercise to lose 20 pounds. You know what I mean?
That's a
Like
struggle.
fucking these dudes drop weight and make weight, and they'll
Uh-huh.
be 20 pounds bigger, and in 6 weeks, I mean, those dudes are some of the most dedicated motherfuckers in the world when
Yeah.
it comes to shaping their bodies and such. And
Hmm.
that's a talent in and of itself, if you ask me. But
Yeah.
it's just one of them things. Like, it just seems so childish to be fighting for a stupid belt. I mean, there's money behind the belt, but
Yeah.
nah, I don't know.
Well, that's probably the modern version of like, how they used to be like, oh, like you got to get the sword of Genghis Khan or whatever. Like
Right, right,
it's probably the replacement for that because they're not actually out here killing people.
right.
So, it's like a
Yeah,
superstitious item or whatever.
right. Yeah, these are the modern day gladiators, I guess. Right.
Yeah. I guess people do that too, like with jerseys. Like, oh, this is Michael Jordan's jersey.
Right. Yeah, somebody I just saw, I didn't watch the video, but I just saw, apparently at the end of some game, Steph Curry was signing his shoe,
Hmm.
and some fan tried to steal it. It's
Damn.
like he's clearly about to give it to somebody. I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck you thought. But again, I didn't even watch the video to see how they tried to steal it, or if they just tried to snatch it out his hand. And then it's like, how far do you think you're gonna get?
Exactly. Like, haven't you ever played those like Subway, those games where you just run forever?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what do you think the odds are you're gonna run all the way out of this big ass stadium with that shoe?
Past all the fucking state troopers and the security, and like, come on,
Amazing. All
fucking
300 of our
morons.
cameras couldn't get his face.
Right. Because we didn't know what seat he was sitting in to just match a name to the ticket purchaser.
Exactly.
Fucking people.
Yeah.
Like,
Speaking of like, I guess dumbass people though, like you wanted to talk about these pardons.
oh, so the first thing I fucking said was, like, okay, we'll start with Lil Wayne. He's probably the
Wheezy
most
baby.
Weezy F, baby. Little Tunchi. And okay,
That
so
surprised me. I'm like, damn, he gave Lil Wayne a pardon. Why?
See, because of that picture that he took with him, that supposedly Lil Wayne got paid to endorse Trump. Supposedly they paid him
Oh,
$1 million for
really?
that picture right before the election that like Lil Wayne. And then everybody was crawling up Lil Wayne's ass because he took a picture with him. And Lil Wayne, the dumbest thing about him is that he honestly acts like he doesn't understand racism.
Yeah.
Like, like he, because I guess when he shot himself in the chest and the police arrived
Yeah.
to his house, there was this black cop that came in first, and Lil Wayne said the dude literally stepped over him.
Mm-hmm.
And then some white cop came in and he's like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing? This dude's bleeding out, blah, blah, blah. Get your ass over here, this, that, and the other thing."
Mm-hmm.
So it's all praises due to the white Jesus,
Yeah. Praise
and
white Jesus.
praise white Jesus. And fucking, but he's totally all fucking Uncle Ruckus about white people, and how
Yeah.
he honestly doesn't, or he pretends like racism does not exist in his fucking country at all. So a couple years ago, or a few years rather, he did a year or two in jail for the
Mm-hmm.
same fucking charge, the same type of charge.
Gun charge.
Yeah, he got caught with a gun in an airport or something like that. First, that's another thing. Where the fuck are you going with a gun in an airport? Like, that's just the dumbest. That's beyond fucking stupid.
From
Oh,
what I
I
heard, it
forgot.
was in his I mean it's still dumb, but like he was supposedly he bought like some gold-plated gun he was gonna give to somebody and it was in his
Okay.
luggage.
Yeah.
So it's not like he got caught with like a daily piece. It was like a
Okay. It
collector's
was
item
like a
type,
collect. Okay.
but it's
And that's
technically a
this time,
gun.
though, right?
This time, yeah, I don't know about last time.
Okay. Yeah. So the last time he got caught, if I'm not mistaken, in an airport,
Hmm.
and he did a year or two. So if you do more than a year in jail, you're definitely a fucking felon. So he
Yeah.
really had no business with a replica or anything, but I don't know if he's under the impression people don't know who he is, or something. Like, I don't get it. But my whole thing, the first thing I said when I was found out Lil Wayne got pardoned, I was like, now I gotta listen to fucking him rap about fucking how cool he is because he got a
Hmm.
presidential pardon, and
Yeah.
bragging about that shit. And then lo and behold, yesterday he dropped a song. Supposedly, I haven't listened to it
Oh
yet,
yeah.
but so supposedly he dropped a song yesterday where he references it already, and it's something else. And now I'm not looking for an answer to this question per se, but
Hmm.
how the fuck do you pardon somebody before they're sentenced? Because his sentencing wasn't scheduled until fucking February. And
Yeah.
it's like, how do you pardon somebody before they even get a fucking sentence? Now, the Kodak Black dude, like, I could understand, because he's already in jail doing his fucking time.
Yeah.
I don't even know who else was on that list. I know the owner, or the co-owner of
Mhm.
Death Row Records. I can't call his name. I
What,
don't.
got a pardon you talking about?
Yeah,
I didn't know
supposedly.
about I knew the only people I knew that were sort of not like political people or rich white guys
Hmm.
was Lil Wayne, Kodak Black, and then that guy who was the mayor of Detroit, that black dude.
What did he do? I
I
just
don't remember.
heard.
Let me see if I could see. I
I had
remember he
heard
got in
something
trouble because
about
he was
him.
like,
Oh, that was the racketeering guy.
yeah,
He was in jail for
yeah, it
fucking
was bribes
racketeering.
and shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
kickbacks.
So 173 people were, well, what was the number? It was like there was it 43 of them weren't pardoned. They just got their sentence commuted,
Yeah.
and the rest of them were all pardoned, and it's just like, what the fuck?
Well, one thing about getting a pardon, it automatically means that you're guilty
Oh, really?
because you can't get pardoned if you're innocent. So by accepting a pardon, that means that officially you're guilty, but the president is like you're guilty, you just don't have to go to jail, basically.
Okay.
So like if you anything, I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming that any like so you get convicted of a felony and you get pardoned, you're still convicted of a felony, so you
Right.
still can't like own a gun
Right.
or whatever. I think you just don't have to stay in jail for whatever amount of time.
Okay.
I think.
So yeah. So well, that's interesting. I mean, not that that's gonna hurt Lil Wayne at all. He was already a felon anyway.
Yeah.
But I do wonder if he's gonna correct his fucking behavior at this fucking point.
No, he's
Because
a big shot. Why does he got to do that? He's big shit. He's
because
he's big Lil Wayne now. He's big Wayne.
he's Big Wayne.
He graduated. I'm
He's
changing my name,
presidential
y'all.
Wayne.
I'm changing my name to Presidente Wayne.
Right. El Presidente. This fucking guy.
Yeah.
So it was like, it pissed me off a little bit just because I get tired of seeing motherfuckers with money just get over. Just
Yeah.
and then plus with his level of ignorance when it comes to, like I was watching Drink Champs and he was on there.
Oh shit, I
And
haven't watched that in a minute.
yeah, I kind of stepped away from it for a while.
Mm.
And I watched most of this interview, but he kind of annoys me a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, and it's especially when they had asked him about some rapper. I don't fucking remember which rapper it was, but he was like, he was popular
Hmm.
enough, you know what I mean, to where I fucking heard of him.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Who is that?" And then he was swearing that he literally only listens to his own music
Hmm.
and that he never listens to anybody else's music. So like his radar is just, there basically isn't a fucking radar for him because he acts like he just goes home and doesn't have the fucking internet.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, maybe he's high all the time and he really don't watch TV. I don't fucking know. But the dude, like, just the his his racism denial is enough to kind of piss me off. Like,
Yeah.
and he ain't done shit in 4 or 5 years anyway, so
Yeah.
you know he ain't he ain't
I
got nothing.
I've heard other people, like kind of famous people. I don't know. Apparently, when you're famous and you got lots of money, like you don't need to go on the internet. Like you got to think for a lot of people, like they go, and I'm thinking specifically like, like teenagers and, people who are all into celebrity shit.
Right.
They go to the internet to find celebrities,
Okay.
but people like Lil Wayne are the reason that people go on the internet.
Right.
So maybe
Right.
he spends all his time on the other side of the camera, of the screen, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
making shit and, doing putting up his little Instagram. Hey guys, look, I'm finna eat this hot dog.
Right. Right. Oh, I'm gonna go skateboard in my own park in my house.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I'm the same way though. I kind of feel like these motherfuckers are full of shit. Like, oh, I don't listen to nobody else's music. Like
Yeah. Okay.
real, you never go to the club. You go to the club, they only play your music.
Right. Because you're coming.
Yeah. Like I don't believe that shit. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, all that pardon and bullshit. I knew something was coming. I don't know. I wouldn't have put money that he would have pardoned,
Hmm.
especially Kodak Black. Like Kodak
Yeah.
Black didn't. He had nothing to do with Trump. Like, so I don't
I
know who put his name in. Like I could understand Trump not knowing who the fuck Kodak Black is. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? He's not into black people stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know, motherfucker getting out of jail. I guess I wonder
Yep.
how soon you get out of jail after a pardon, or if there's still a bunch of paperwork to be filed. Because I haven't heard or seen any videos of him walking out of jail yet or anything.
Yeah.
Cause his mother, I think it is, she was on the fucking news or on the internet, you know,
Mm-hmm.
fucking almost every other week talking about, oh, the fucking correctional officers are abusing Kodak and this, that, and the other thing. So I just assumed that it was gonna be a big deal whenever he got out of jail, even though I have never heard one of his songs. I have no idea, but he falls into that category of just trash rappers that I don't understand how are so fucking, hot in the streets. Like
Yeah.
I just don't fucking get it. It's bad music. There's
Yeah.
nothing good about the shit. It's
I feel
like,
like I heard one song of his that was okay, but it
mhm.
wasn't like amazing, you
Right.
know?
It's not like I've ever heard anybody call him a fucking lyricist or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like Lauren Hill's got more street cred than fucking Kodak Black.
Yeah. I don't know, like maybe it's, I can't relate because I'm not out here, drinking lean all the time and
Right.
popping pills and shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah.
That's what all these
Yeah.
motherfuckers seem to talk about anyway.
Yeah. 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 And maybe that's it too, because somebody just explained to me, I think it was a security guard at work. He had explained why they put lean in styrofoam cups. It's supposed to keep it colder longer or some bullshit like that. But it didn't really
Okay.
make sense because the top is off of it. So what the fuck good is that gonna do for it
Well,
insulating it?
well,
Like,
hot air rises. So if they're trying to keep the colder stuff,
mhm.
that would probably work
Okay.
because
And
it's
they
gonna
always
stay
put it
towards
in
the
two
bottom.
cups.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all right, well,
I don't know.
I
Yeah,
mean, it made enough sense. Like,
yeah,
I didn't argue with him about it. He's done lean before. I've never done the shit. So,
yeah,
you
yeah. I don't know.
know.
I was I was surprised by some of the people. Like I knew he was gonna do that, and I didn't really care. Like, cause honestly, like this is not the first time that a bunch of people that don't deserve it
Right.
get some shit, So
Of
whatever.
course. Right.
And just let this motherfucker get out of here. Like just go. Bye, Felicia.
Right.
But I was glad that he didn't pardon any of these motherfuckers that stormed the fucking building.
Oh, I was worried about that.
I
I was
was too.
worried about him getting fucking pardons for all them fucking people.
Yeah.
I know the dude in the Viking hat tried asking for it.
Uh-huh.
This
A
fucking
bunch of
guy.
people did. There was this lady that I don't know who she was exactly, but she had enough money and she took a private jet to go. It's fucking weird.
What?
And she got caught. She was trying to get a pardon. Like, nope, nobody's home.
My whole thing is, well, it's a couple things. Like for the fucking inauguration, they want to send 25,000 fucking troops into the fucking city, you
Hmm.
know. And but on the 6th, when y'all knew this shit was gonna happen, there's fucking five security guards working or five whatever police officers fucking working.
Yeah,
And it's like, come on. Y'all did better than that whenever Black Lives Matter was marching in that fucking city. You know what I mean? Painting on your fucking streets and shit.
yeah.
Like, and
Well,
mhm.
I think a big part of that is so there was this culture of like I kind of feel like there's two groups of people.
Mhm.
There's the groups of people who are like, we're gonna do whatever. Whoever's in charge, they say jump, we're gonna say how high.
Okay.
And then you got the other people who are like, if the president or whoever's in charge tells us to jump, as long as it's appropriate for us to jump, we're gonna say how high. Otherwise, we're gonna drag our feet. Like, oh, okay, we're gonna jump. We gotta put our shoes on first. Hold on, let's put our shoes on. Oh, wait, we
Right.
gotta tie our shoes. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I feel like what happened is that they sort of got stuck because, on the one hand, they don't want to piss off the president,
Hmm.
but then on the other hand, they kind of knew that they needed to protect shit, but could only do so much before because the president's like, oh, whether or not I don't know how much he knew, how much he wanted them to break into the actual building.
Right.
I personally don't think he thought it that far ahead. He's just
Right.
like, just let the motherfuckers go over there. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't care. Like,
Right. Yeah, he
oh,
was
is it time for
having a
me to
little
eat some more
party.
fried chicken?
Right.
Can I
Exactly.
have
His
another Diet Coke?
KFC nest. Right.
Yeah. So I don't think he thought about it. But the people in charge are like, well, we don't want to get in trouble. But at the same time, like, like we don't know what to do. So we're not gonna do anything and just see what happens. But then after it happened, then there's two things. First of all, they found out what happened.
Mm.
Second of all, they found out that lots of people were upset about it.
Okay.
Like because if they had gotten a whole bunch of cops there and then, nothing happened, a bunch of them would have probably got in trouble. They might have got fired, fucks up their pension or whatever,
Hmm.
But after it all happened and like a shitload of people, even some of the Republicans were upset about it. Now they can be like, oh, okay, we're going to do the right thing. Yeah, yeah, I don't know what happened, but we got this.
Right.
I mean, it's still bullshit. They still fucked up,
Right.
you know.
Um, two things. One, President or former President Trump is so disconnected from black people that he thinks Kentucky Fried Chicken is good. Like I just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
And fucking I watched the on the HBO app. No,
Mm.
yeah, HBO
HBO
app.
Max.
Yeah. I watched that little insurrection thing that they had on there.
I didn't watch that yet.
It was interesting because I guess there was a reporter from CNN who
Hmm.
was inside the fucking Capitol while these people were fucking storming it.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how he didn't get arrested also because he was
Well, there were
inside the
some
fucking
people
Capitol.
inside because Congress was in there at the time, voting and
Yeah,
shit.
right.
So he might have been in there, him or her. They might have been in there, reporting on that shit at the time.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well
They
then
had camera. I mean, I
that
don't
would
know
make
when they
sense.
stopped it, but they were because I watched it before the people broke in. I saw them in there arguing and talking this stupid shit about,
Okay.
you know, all their
Okay.
fake ass, no evidence. But then
The
eventually they
right.
stopped because they had to evacuate the building. So he could have been in because of that.
Now, another thing or two. The best part of that little whatever documentary, whatever the fuck it was,
Uh-huh.
insurrection shit, was that as he's outside and there's all these people walking past, and when they first get into the building, they're asking some fucking cop, like, there was like, where the fuck is Pence? And then like all
Oh.
these people are like, let's hang him. And it's the fuck. Like, and then they were like, where the fuck is Nancy Pelosi? That dirty bitch. Oh, let's fucking kill her. And it's like, hold on.
Wow.
Y'all really think that you gonna walk in to the fucking capital of the most, well, the perceived most powerful nation in the world
Hmm.
and just string up a vice president?
Yeah. I
Really?
mean, honestly,
Like without guns?
if he had been in the room, I don't know if they would have got shot. Like,
Why do they think that there's not some sort of underground bunker for all of them motherfuckers to run into whenever silly shit like that happens? There
yeah.
ain't no telling. The They could probably get from the Capitol to the White House
Hmm.
underground. There ain't no telling what they got
Yeah.
over there. I don't know if there's any way for anybody to, x-ray the ground, some sort of way, but they probably wouldn't want that
They
information
wouldn't
out
let you do
anyway.
it anyway. Yeah.
Right. But it's like the funniest part to me, and then that's what was so funny about what you and Ma were saying yesterday. Might have been Ma, about them taking their own guns away because they're gonna get felonies or whatever the case. Because
Yeah.
y'all really tried to fucking storm the Capitol, and now, prior to me watching that little insurrection thing, I hadn't seen any video. I hadn't heard anything about them motherfuckers talking about killing people, like
Yeah.
Nancy and all of them. Like I had heard somebody say that like they were calling for the death of this, that, but of course that's worded differently. That's
Hmm.
not like, where the fuck is Pence? Let's hang his ass. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then, you know, and then while you're trying to murder the vice president of the United States, you're marching down the halls screaming, USA, USA, USA. What the fuck? Like, and I know none of these motherfuckers going to jail for real.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
I don't know. Like, that's the thing. So, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, and I think you're right. But I think the problem, specific, unique problem this time is that, like, we'll put it this way. It would be stupid to expect a group of fucking black Latino people to just march into the building
right,
and scoop up Mike Pence, right?
right,
But because all these motherfuckers were white, like they had delayed response. So that's why they almost got away with it. And that's why I think people are shook because they realize, because a lot of people like to pretend that white supremacy is not a problem anymore.
right.
But the reason that these people were able to get in is because of white supremacy.
Yeah, because they're fucking white.
And not necessarily because the side of the coin was like, oh, we hate black people. It's the side of the coin that the other side, like, oh, white people are never going to do anything
Right,
inappropriate because they're not dirty Negroes. You know what I mean?
right.
And so that's still white supremacy. And so that's the reason why these motherfuckers were like, supposedly, if they had gotten into the building 60 seconds sooner, they would have stormed into the room while Mike Pence was still there.
Hmm.
That's what I had heard.
See, and I
And
just
it's
find
because
that
they're white.
difficult to believe that they got that close to him.
Because that's what I'm
Like, where
saying.
the
It's because
fuck
they're
was Secret
white.
Service at? Secret Service doesn't have fucking, Instagram. You know what I mean? Like, y'all had zero idea that there was 100,000 people. I don't even know what the crowd number was supposed to be. Like, haven't heard anybody say, "Oh, it was 50,000 people. It was 20,000
Yeah, I
people."
haven't heard
I
that
haven't heard
either.
any numbers, but like y'all didn't know that there were definitely thousands of fucking
Yeah.
people there. Like, and like the I, but like you said, it's because they're fucking white.
Yeah, I
They're
think
like,
that's the key because like I think like the Secret Service people were like, hey, cops outside are gonna let us know if things get crazy, so we'll have enough time to do what we need to do.
right,
But the cops outside were like, "Oh, I don't see nothing going on. Just a bunch of white folks. Come on in,
right.
everybody." And so then they found out late. They're like, "Yo, what the fuck are y'all doing? How'd you let these motherfuckers in the
You know
building?"
what? That's something else too. Is there were, like, I wonder if the cops that were taking selfies with people and the
Mm-hmm.
cops that were literally seen doing this as they move the fucking stanchions or whatever they're fucking called, the
Yeah,
barricades out of the fucking way.
yeah,
Like, I wonder if there's any recourse for that shit because there were so many of them just literally doing this shit, and it's like, what the fuck?
It was just a complete clusterfuck.
So
And
yeah, so
it's
then
because
maybe
they
they
were
got
all
that
white.
close because the fucking cops were half in on it, or they were half okay with it,
Yeah.
or whatever.
It's just a bunch of bros hanging out, man. Nothing's gonna happen.
Right.
Just a bunch of white people, man. Nothing's gonna happen. It's
At
all
least
good.
that one cop got beat to death. Or the only thing that they fucking say was, "Oh, he died from injuries that he sustained during the
Yes.
riots." That's all they'll fucking say
Because
about it.
anytime a group of violent white people kills someone, it
Hmm.
has to be as passive as possible.
Exactly.
Like they
And
didn't kill him. Like he died while he was in the middle of the crowd
right,
somehow.
yeah, he's a fucking hero.
Yeah.
He, you know,
I do have
and
to say though, it's just kind of fucking funny how, how, how these motherfuckers are all Blue Lives Matter
hmm
and they fucking murdered him
and
with
they
an
fucking murder a
American
cop.
flag.
Yeah, you got beat to death with the fucking. I wanted to know what those fucking flagpoles were made out of. And like they
Yeah,
were
I don't
just
know.
whipping over the top. I'm like, this shit ain't bending or nothing. Like, these motherfuckers got spears and shit. But again, it's still hilarious to me how all these Second Amendment redneck motherfuckers are storming the Capitol and all of them forgot their pistols.
Yeah,
Like and that's what makes me think y'all wasn't really on shit anyway.
no.
Like, I honestly, oh, there was this one dude that it was in that HBO thing
Hmm.
where they were like, we're gonna storm the building and we're gonna get Mike Pence, and when once we get in, then some dude standing next to him's like, then what? And then he was just quiet. It's like, come on. And but there was like, and the dude that was like, and then what? He was so fucking lost. So
Yeah,
like part of me feels like if they would have got there 60 seconds earlier, a couple of them would have probably definitely gotten shot by Secret Service.
yeah.
But like if they would have gotten that close and they overcame Secret Service somehow without pistols, and they grabbed Mike Pence, I feel like they would have been standing around for 5 minutes just holding his collar and
Hmm.
yeah, you fucked up. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man.
I don't know if they would have beat that motherfucker and stomped his ass
I
out
mean,
or
they
anything
fucked
like
that
that.
cop up.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
I did see a cop get hit in the head with a fire extinguisher.
yeah,
He
I
had a helmet
agree.
on, but
I think that normally, like 9 times out of 10, they wouldn't have done anything. But if they were still geeked up and somebody like is still out there in the crowd, like still trying to geek people up, and people start pushing, then they might have they might have fucked them up. Just, because
yeah,
they
because
just get carried away.
it would have probably only taken one person to smack them or steal on them
Yeah,
or something like that for the rest of them to be like, yeah, just from
yeah,
being in the fucking crowd with
exactly.
all of that adrenaline. And it's
Yeah,
and it's just like, I hope these fucking monkeys, I hope that their fucking lives are fucking torn apart, you
yeah,
know, in a similar fashion to the way mine was with a fucking DUI.
hmm,
It's just desecrate your whole fucking life. I truly hope that some of them motherfuckers get fired from their fucking jobs whenever they find out.
yeah.
And I hope that Viking motherfucker gets sent to prison at least so that he could get some more prison tattoos, because that tattoo work was shit. It was trash. Like, but I
They gotta go
just
to
I
prison to
just
get organic food, man. They got to put them in
right.
a.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Was it his mommy that was all, or like was it his wife or something
I don't
that
know.
was all like, oh, he hasn't eaten because
Yeah.
he eats only organic food? Well, that was a choice, wasn't it, when he was
Yeah.
fucking free? Now
Uh-huh.
he's locked up with all them niggas that he hates. Like, you know, and they gonna start going in his fucking Viking booty. That's what they
Yeah.
gonna do. And they'll fuck him just for fucking, fucking prison cred. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
fucked that Viking motherfucker. Them- all them booty goons in
Uh-huh.
fucking prison.
That's messed up, man. That's what you
But
get
that was
though.
funny whenever y'all were talking about that shit yesterday about, these motherfuckers got their guns taken away from themselves.
Yeah.
Like, but again, how many people did they get out of however many numbers? Because they're keeping that fucking number. Because they're always quick to say, "Oh, there was a crowd of 50,000 people here today." And why the
Hmm.
fuck did y'all count 50,000 people with a computer?
Yeah, they'll
Maybe
like take a picture and they have like at
software that could do it.
yeah, or even like at a certain distance, you can like just sort of draw like a 1 inch square on a picture.
Oh, and you could fit so many people in the
Yeah.
square. Okay.
For like a rough estimate type of thing.
Right, right. Because I have not heard a single number of how many of those fucking people, but there was a massive amount of people doing that shit. And what they
Yeah.
catch, like 100 of them?
Something like that, yeah. I don't know how many people actually went into the building. That's the key. Like, because everybody didn't go into the building.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I know that they had that was so you know that app Parlor, right?
I've heard of it. I
So it's
think it's because
basically
of
the
this
white
shit.
supremacist version of Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Because they all got kicked. A bunch of these people were getting kicked off Twitter, so they made their own place where they could talk about QAnon and
Right,
yeah, I don't know, share tips on sewing hoods and stuff.
right.
But so that website, so a bunch of these people use that app. So they had the app on their phone. And these dum dums are just walking around with their phones on. And this
Right.
app, some of them tweeted or not tweeted, but whatever from inside the building,
Hmm.
posted from inside the building.
Right.
And so all this shit happened. Amazon kicked them off of their service because they were running their servers using Amazon's
Okay.
servers, the cloud
Okay.
servers.
Hmm.
Amazon kicked them off for taking part in trying to overthrow the government, basically.
Right. Yeah.
And
Because
so,
let's not fucking deny it. That's exactly what they
yeah,
were trying to fucking do.
uh-huh, it was. They were interfering with. There's one thing to protest, but there's
Right.
another thing to actively stop and it's a different thing. Like if you run into the building while they're doing stuff and you just start yelling,
Right.
yeah, you're disrupting it, but you're not
Right.
forcing people to stop and evacuate and come back and finish at 3 a.m.
Yeah, but look what even fucking cops do to us. If like we don't want to answer their fucking questions, they're like, "Well, I'll lock you up for obstruction of justice."
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Fuck you, obstruction of justice. The fuck out of here. Like, so I don't know. I mean, I hope
So
Judge
the thing I
now.
was gonna say though is
Mhm.
that so whenever they got kicked off Amazon, I don't know exactly what happened, but all of the information for that website, every single post, every single picture, all of that information was just ass hanging out on the internet.
Okay.
So a bunch of people downloaded all of it, every single post of that entire website ever.
Okay.
And it included all the pictures with all the little, I don't know if you know, but every time you take a picture with your phone, a lot of times it puts the GPS coordinates.
Yeah, unless you turn it off
Yeah.
specifically,
So they
right?
scooped all of that information up, and anybody who posted inside the building, you weren't supposed to be in the building. So we got you. Anybody who posted a picture that was taken inside the building, we got you. So that's where they at least started. And
See,
supposedly
and
they're going through the video and trying to identify people.
mhm,
And actually, a bunch of people supposedly got turned in. Like people would
okay,
see the video on CNN, they'd be like, "Oh, I went to school with that guy. He was an asshole."
okay.
They call the FBI.
Like Tim?
Uh-huh. I'm not sure, but I think that's Tim. I think I went to high school with that guy.
I'm
Oh,
sure
really?
that's Tim McFadden,
Uh-huh.
1375 Lovers Lane.
Yep. So, I
My
mean,
fucking neighbor.
I don't know if how
Fucking
many
guy
more
keeps parking
people.
on my lawn.
Yeah.
Fucking dog shits on my lawn every Tuesday. I'm gonna get that son of a bitch.
Teach you.
Son, you fucking traitor. You
Yeah.
know, something else that did surprise me. You remember when they whenever Congress or the Senate or whatever the fuck they're called got back to
Hmm.
work that
Yeah.
night, everybody gave like a little 2-minute speech each or something like that.
Hmm.
Most of them did refer to them as like thugs, which I
Yeah.
was shocked,
Yeah.
because I knew if it would have been black, well, first of all, I have to say again, if it would have been black folks, there would have been a massacre. They'd still be cleaning blood off the fucking marble stairs.
Yeah.
Like if it would have been black folks. But also, if the black folks would have got past all of the massacring on the fucking stairs and actually got into the fucking chambers, like I just no, that just wouldn't have happened.
No, it
It
wouldn't
just it
have.
just wouldn't have happened.
No,
There
it
isn't
would not.
even a hypothetical. Like that just wouldn't have fucking happened.
They would have erred on the side of massacring the entire crowd
Yep.
before they let a bunch of fucking black people into the building.
Right.
Like, oh, we'll take this L if we got to. God bless America.
God bless America. Kill these fucking niggas. Yeah, they would have bust out a 50 cal from the side of a helicopter, just
Yep.
started mowing them motherfuckers down.
Yep.
Like, because well, the only thing is, if there was that many black people, and if any of them got in, or if again this wouldn't have happened,
Huh?
but if some shit was getting fucked up.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna be taking pictures, putting their feet on Pelosi's desk. They probably don't even know who the fuck Nancy Pelosi is.
Yeah.
Like you could probably do one of those interviewing random black people
Mm-hmm.
things that you see on online. Sometimes it'll be like, "Who's the Speaker of the House?"
Fuck if I know.
Ooh, right.
Like,
Fucking
who's the Speaker of the House? Kenwood?
right.
I got pioneers in my house. I don't know what you're talking about.
ABL, Sony. I think Sony, right? Like, what the fuck?
Lamont, what kind of speakers you got in your house?
Right. Bose, man. Bose. Wow. But
Man, that whole thing was I mean, if
fucking
nothing, it
clown
was an
show.
appropriate end to his presidency.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a
Yeah.
good thing, but
Now,
it was
now,
appropriate.
if Trump would have had 6 more months, 4 more months,
Mhm.
most of those people who stormed the Capitol would probably be okay.
Oh
But
yeah.
now that Biden's in, and Democrats were 100% against that,
Yeah.
yeah, you guys are probably might be kind of fucked.
Yeah.
You might at least do a year in jail,
Yeah.
enough to fucking set your life. And
Hmm.
like I wonder if like any of them that were found out to be like lawyers or whatever, I
Hmm.
wonder if they got disbarred.
They probably will eventually. Like, I know that there was one guy who was a lawyer. He got fired
Okay.
like the first day because he was a lead lawyer at some company.
Yeah, okay.
So
Well,
he
that
got
makes sense.
fired. So yeah, a bunch of these people have had already gotten fired, at least the bigger ones.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, dude that put his feet on Pelosi's desk probably got it coming.
I think he
Like,
was a retired guy. So,
yeah, but I just mean prison time.
oh yeah.
Like he's probably gonna see a couple days in jail with all of his fellow Negroes.
Well, they kind of have to because if you don't put the hammer down on these people, you're teaching them that it's okay to do that shit again.
Right, right.
So
But
it's up to them. Like, you
but
want this
I
to
just
happen
feel
again?
like they're gonna do the regular thing that the
Hmm.
justice system always does, and where a black person would get the full 10-year sentence,
Yeah.
that these motherfuckers are gonna be like, oh, time served.
Yeah, that's
You
what
know,
that's
this
what I'm
what the
half
fuck?
expecting too.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised even a little bit if they do that.
right.
Oh, we're really sorry.
Yeah, oh, I have all of these people send letters to the court
Hmm.
explaining how good of a person. Yeah. Did the letters have all of your QAnon info in there? You fucking jackasses.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not I don't still don't have a lot of faith. We'll see what happens.
Now,
But I would be pleasantly surprised if they throw the book at these people.
now, somebody who should get beat with the book is that monkey that was walking around with the Confederate flag in that building.
That fucking
Like,
guy. Yeah. That's embarrassing. Like, I gotta give him
yeah.
credit though. Like his fucking racist ass great grandfather is probably
Oh,
just jumping
proud as
around.
shit. Yeah.
Like I can't believe my great grandson, he did it. We
He
finally
did
got
it.
that flag in there. That is just
Do a
shameful.
jig. Yeah, I don't know.
Shameful.
So it was fun to watch. Um, just seeing white people pretend like they're angry about something.
Like imagine this. Like a lot of people, I don't think a lot of white people care about the Confederate flag thing.
Yeah, yeah, no. Why
But
would they?
you look at the United States government. Look at anyone who the United States has ever officially fought a war against. Can you imagine if, like, for whatever reason, there was a bunch of Vietnamese people that broke into the building and they're walking around with a North Vietnamese flag
Right.
or a Korean flag?
Or a Viet Cong flag or something.
Yeah, like a bunch of these white people would be losing their shit.
Right.
They would literally just be just smoke coming out of their ears.
Yep.
But like, oh, I mean, business as usual. Nobody's gonna bat an eye when you see some racist ass Ku Klux Klan motherfuckers doing some crazy shit in the U.S. because that's what we do.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
They ain't gonna get no pardon from Biden, I'll tell you that.
yeah. I still would not say no, but I don't think they will.
Right. I don't think Biden would pardon any of them motherfuckers. That he'd lose half his fucking base
I have no faith
doing that
in
shit.
fucking Democrats anymore.
Oh, I
Fuck up.
can't stand that pedophile motherfucker with his black bitch, like that likes locking black people up for fucking weed. You dumb
Yeah,
cunt. Can't stand that lawyer cop ass bitch. Like,
yeah,
yeah, no. I don't know, but it's kind of a relief, I guess, for it to get back to business as usual. Let's just do our regular racist thing. The extra racist thing wasn't fucking working for
yeah.
anybody. So let's go back to being closeted racist.
I can say this. So looking back now, hindsight being 2020, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
A really big question in my mind in 2016. I actually thought about this for a while. I considered it. I was, and I don't know, maybe I am to an extent a bit of an accelerationist, as they say,
Okay.
which it kind of means that like I'm like, you know what? This shit's just going down the drain, so fuck it. Let's just
Pull the plug.
speed this shit up.
Right.
Let's make the hole bigger. Get that
Right.
swirl going. Let's go. Come on.
Right.
If we're gonna do
Yeah.
it, let's fucking do it. And so, in that kind of a mindset, I was thinking, you know what we need is that we need to elect a horrible person like Donald Trump. And the gamble is that he's gonna be so fucking horrible that all these dumbass, half racist white people who just ignore everything, like they don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily wear fucking hoods,
Right.
so they're not actively white
Right.
supremacists.
But they're complicit with the shit.
Exactly. So all these complicit motherfuckers would be like, oh my God, what's going on? We need to do something about this and let's get shit right. But now, having lived through these 4 years with him as president, I now see the error in my ways in thinking that these people would ever do anything. They would ever actively try to fix any of this shit.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, nah.
no, it's
Nah. It's I don't know. I had made a statement at work talking to one of my coworkers, and
mhm.
I just like I feel sorry for like Abrielle, like
Yeah,
the fucking world she's gonna fucking grow up in. If it's this bad now, man, this shit ain't gonna get any better. You know,
yeah,
I'm not trying to, everybody wants, the better life for their kids and stuff, but like I'm not trying to be pessimistic. I just like you just said, I just don't see this shit getting any better ever.
yeah,
Like it's just gonna be the same old shit. I like part of me feels like things will change slightly once more snowflakes get into office, but that doesn't mean that they're gonna change for the better. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like it's just still there's always gonna be 70% of Congress and 70% of the fucking 80% of the Senate's gonna be a bunch of old white people who are fucking racist, or when or a whole shitload of fucking lawyers or former lawyers or
Mhm,
whatever, and none of these people understand what it's like. My first introduction to people not understanding the ghetto was when I was doing security at Niles West High School. Niles West, for those who don't know, is like an affluent suburb in next to the city.
mhm.
And like the average house is $500,000, shit like that.
Yeah.
And these fucking kids that went to that school, I ended up having conversations with a few of them, and I don't remember the conversation verbatim or anything, but
Mhm,
at the end of my discussion with this kid, it was apparent that he knew absolutely nothing about poverty. Like he didn't know it was a thing. Like everybody grew up like him.
mhm,
Everybody's dad went to work as a lawyer every day.
mhm.
Everybody drove a Benz. Everybody's first car was a 3 Series BMW. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, and so I say that to say, like, all of these people who are from environments that are conducive to like growth and opportunity and learning and all of this other shit,
Mhm.
like they don't get it. You don't
Yeah.
have to be, a billionaire for you to just not get it. There are regular Joe motherfuckers that do not understand that the fucking odds are so stacked against black people or whatever, people in the hood otherwise,
Mhm.
because there's a lot of like, whites that have shitty lives because they're
Yeah.
poor.
Yeah.
Because their families weren't ever shit, or their
Mhm.
parents were fucking immigrants that didn't otherwise make it, so they're not even in the trades. Like
Yeah.
like because at least in the city in Chicago, it appears that if you're either Irish or Italian, then chances are somebody in your family is a fucking cop or a fucking firefighter.
They work for the
Like,
city or something. They got
or
some kind
yeah,
of
or they
connection.
work for fucking streets and sanitation, making
Mhm.
$30 an hour, sitting in a car all day, jerking off.
Yeah.
Like, or, some, good ass fucking job.
Mhm.
Like, and though they may, think that they're in a bad position, it ain't making minimum wage. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Mhm.
it ain't that bad. You
Yeah.
still making 60, 70, 80 grand a fucking year. And you could live off of that. You could save money making 70 grand a year, 80 grand a year. You can
Yeah.
have decent things, with that type of fucking salary. So their shitty life is still, fucking, you know, way better than what like mine
Yeah.
has been.
It's like it's there's little things like a bunch of those kids at that school, for example, have
Mhm.
probably never had a single time in their life when they went into the kitchen and opened the refrigerator and that motherfucker was empty.
Right.
Like there's a literally a bottle of ketchup
Right.
and like a thing with some celery sticks, and that's it.
Right.
Like, yeah, we going shopping tomorrow, but we ain't got nothing right now, so
Right.
you better eat you a bread sandwich.
Right. We going shopping when the link come in.
Yeah. So like they have never experienced like a lack of resources. So
Right.
they think that shit's normal for everybody.
Yeah. And that's the problem because those are the motherfuckers that are gonna end up in fucking Congress.
Yep.
Those are the motherfuckers that are gonna end up our, fearless fucking leaders.
Hmm.
Like, and they don't know shit about how the world really works.
Yeah.
Their whole experience, and shout out to their fucking parents for being in whatever position they were in to get their kids, and I'm sure there's a bunch of great fucking stories about people who, you know, whatever. There's a white boy somewhere who's a fucking successful lawyer, a judge, who grew up on the mean South Side streets of Chicago, and
Yeah.
he was able to get out. So if he got out, anybody can get out.
Hmm.
Like, and I'm sure there's a bunch of fucking stories like that. Not to
Yeah.
take away from the people who have worked their entire lives to get out of the hood. The same reason you fucking moved to Florida on
Hmm.
purpose to get away from this shit.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, you made it out to a degree. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
No, it's
Like,
true. Yeah.
and though you're in the heart of Trump land. And there's
Yeah.
probably more guns per capita around you than me being here on the west side of
That's
Chicago.
a good
But
question, actually. I'm not
yeah,
sure.
yeah, I would wonder. I would
Yeah.
wonder. But
But
you
yeah,
know,
like that's, and you know what?
regardless,
That
those
another
shoot
problem with
motherfuckers.
that is like me, I'm radical. I'm way to the left. So
Okay.
I'm in socialism land,
Okay.
basically, you know?
Hmm.
But
Right.
putting that aside, like we don't have to do that. If we just lived in a situation where, and I don't even know how, but one of the problems that I think would help with this is that like all of these wealthy white people live in neighborhoods with wealthy white people. It's the same problem with people like Kamala Harris.
Right.
All these black people.
Right.
Her dad was from Jamaica and her mom was Indian, but
Fucking
we'll still
Indian.
call her black.
Right.
Well, she didn't grow up in the fucking ghetto.
Right.
But, like all of these people live in these black people live in these bougie ass fucking suburbs and shit. And they try to pretend like they're better than the rest of their family that lives in wherever, everywhere else. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So like if we actually like if you had to go to school with some kid and you're like, yo, Chuck, that's my boy, he's all right. And then you go to Chuck's house when you're like 11 to go play fucking Xbox or whatever.
Hmm.
And you're like, yo, Chuck lives in like a little bitty house and he ain't hardly got no money. And, like his mom's not a piece of shit. His dad's not a piece of shit. They're not crackheads, but they still don't have like a lot of money. Like, I didn't know regular people could just be poor just because, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that never happens or it doesn't
Yeah.
happen often enough.
No.
And so that's why if we had more even distribution, like in schools and neighborhoods that had rich people and sort of poor people together,
Hmm.
then I think, there'd be a better understanding
Yeah.
of, like, because that's the thing. A lot of these people think, well, it was easy for me to be a millionaire.
Right.
So anyone who's not, I've actually seen people say that shit online. Like anybody who doesn't have $1 million by whatever, is just not trying or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
these
I've
motherfuckers are
seen.
smoking crack.
Yeah. I've seen a few of them videos. You want to know how to make $1 million in 30 seconds? But all right, this is how I got my 17 Lamborghinis. All you hear, follow me. And
Yeah.
somebody holding the camera walks
Uh-huh.
past the fucking Range Rovers, some other lame shit. Like,
And it's
it's
even
fucking
worse when it's a fucking black guy.
yeah. I was gonna say while whenever you made the point about Kamala Harris,
Mm-hmm.
Kamala Kamala
I'm a
Harris,
little, yeah.
um, what like there ain't nothing worse than a bougie ass black person to me.
Yeah.
That's about as low as you can go being a Uncle Tom coon ass nigga.
Yep.
Like that is
Pretty
some
much.
corny ass shit. I can't stand black motherfuckers with money. They are not shit.
Yeah.
Like they're worse than fucking white people because they look down on black people sometimes more than the white people do.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
because white people at the very least half of them are like hesitant to look down because they don't want to be accused of being racist.
Yeah.
So but I had said it before, like what we were just talking about. That's part of the fucking police issue is that
Mm-hmm.
you got a bunch of these soft ass white boys that grew up in fucking heaven,
Mm-hmm.
and then you send these motherfuckers to the pits of hell, and they don't understand that these niggas ain't even arguing. They just talk loud.
Yeah.
Like and everybody is more aggressive in the hood because you have to be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you ain't gonna fit in. You ain't gonna make it. You
Mm-hmm.
can't walk down the street if like you don't have this hard ass look on your face, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, or
Yep.
some other weird shit. And that ghetto life is just more aggressive. So don't fucking come in here trying to tell ghetto people what to do and how to live, and you don't know shit about this fucking place.
Yeah.
And that's why they're fucking scared of them because they don't understand them. They
Mm-hmm.
don't understand that black people aren't aggressive because of the color of their skin. It's the circumstances in which they were fucking raised in.
Yeah.
If you leave, if like somebody's raised in a forest with a bunch of wolves, then and they get whatever reacclimated to society somehow, and people grab them, and then the first altercation, this motherfucker rips somebody's liver out their stomach and starts eating it. It's
Yeah.
normal to him. The fucking alpha eats the liver. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's what the fuck. Like that's what he was raised around. But
Yeah.
no, they don't fucking want to understand. They don't care to understand. They certainly don't understand. Maybe they don't even understand that they need to try to understand. But
Yeah. No, it's true.
until until somebody comes up with a way to teach one part of society about another part of society in a effective educational way somehow, ain't shit gonna change. And now maybe with all of this social media, and how, excuse me, constant fights are being showed and all this shit,
Mm-hmm.
like like maybe that'll help some people understand, but it really just makes them look like animals.
Yeah.
And it fuels their fear of them in the first place. And it's a slight change of subject, but speaking of animal videos, motherfuckers getting knocked out, I swear to God, a lot more people are getting knocked the fuck out these days. Like I went through the entirety of high school and I never saw one. I saw a lot of fist fights, but I ain't never seen no motherfuckers get just clean clocked and knocked the fuck out the way people are getting knocked out nowadays. So I don't know if we're a little stronger than we used to be or what the fucking case is, but there's a lot of motherfuckers getting knocked the fuck out on the street. A lot.
Well, you got to think there's a bias of what you see.
Mm,
You're going to see a higher. And that's one of the fundamental problems with social media, just big picture.
okay.
It's like a human psychology thing.
Hmm.
Like whenever we're used to living, we evolve to be in like these environments with, I don't know, a couple thousand people or so.
Hmm.
Like I read somewhere that like the ideal community size for a person to be able to have a meaningful kind of relationship.
Like 150 people or
Something
something.
like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, you could stretch it out. A couple
Right.
thousand, several thousand, I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you take, let's just take 50,000 people, like a nice size little town, right?
Right.
How many fights? There's not going to be that many fights
Right.
every day, you know?
Right. Yeah. No.
But there's like a 300 million people. So if you the places that do have a fight, and then the ones where they do have somebody that gets knocked out,
They
those are
definitely
what get
putting that
uploaded.
shit. Right.
And so
Like this
then it looks like
motherfucker
it's
got
a,
knocked out. I got to put this on.
exactly. So then it looks like it's a higher percentage than what it really is, you know?
Mm,
And then the same
okay.
thing
I didn't
goes
think
for
about that.
like people who look at these videos and they're like, oh, look, see, all these people are savages. Like
Right.
every time I see a video with some ghetto motherfuckers in it, they knocking somebody out. Like it does the exact same thing. It sets this
Right.
picture in people's heads that's not realistic. And that's one of the problems with social media.
Right.
That people don't realize that they need to think about that shit in the background as they watch this stuff.
Right.
And they don't.
Yeah. It's a good point because I can even admit that when I watch a fight and nobody gets knocked out and like both parties are just tired and they end up walking away talking shit, I'd be
Uh-huh.
mad as hell. Be like, man, what the fuck did I just waste 3 minutes of my life watching this bullshit? And you can't even knock
Yeah.
the motherfucker out. He grabbed your sister's ass, nigga. What the fuck is you doing? Or something stupid, whatever they're fucking fighting over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But these motherfuckers are just getting carried away. Like this new generation that is coming about in
Hmm.
the city is different because now we're having carjacking problems again.
Really?
But the bigger issue with all of these carjackings that are going on, because carjackings are up like 80% or some shit like that. Like they
Damn.
snatching motherfuckers out their cars left and right for whatever reason. I don't know if some new criminal technology came out that now they're able to kill the computers or the GPS locators in cars, or I don't know what the fuck they're doing with these things, because it was always stupid for me when I heard somebody stealing a cell phone. What the fuck you gonna do with a cell phone now? But
Well,
I'm not in that fucking world. Apparently, come to find
yeah.
out, they'll take this $1,000 cell phone and they'll like one of them Arab motherfuckers in the stores will fucking buy it off of somebody for a couple $100, send it back overseas and get 1,500, $2,000 for it or something like that.
Yeah.
So I heard about that, but what they're doing with these fucking cars is I would like to know, because what the
So
fuck are you gonna do with somebody's brand new 2020 Cadillac?
so I heard a news report that said, and this could fit with what you're talking about. I think these technically could be considered carjackings,
Mm-hmm,
but a lot of times when people come and they deliver your stuff,
mm-hmm.
like your groceries or your McDonald's or whatever.
Yeah, and they leave their fucking cars running like
Yeah.
idiots. Yeah,
And the other thing too is that even if they don't leave the car running, they leave um the little dongle thing. What do you call it? The little fob. They
the
leave the key
fob.
fob sitting in the little cup holder or whatever. And
Right.
so all
Yeah.
these people got to do is hop in the car and push the button and then they take off in their car.
Right.
So that's one thing. And then the other thing that they said is that a lot of times they're just joyriding and then they dump the car. They're not, because you can't, like, it's difficult, like
Right.
you said.
That's what I don't understand what the fuck they're doing with these things.
But
Now, if
what
you're
I heard
still
is
in a car,
specifically they're just joyriding and then they dump it and.
okay. And if you're still in a car to commit another crime,
Hmm.
then that kind of makes sense too.
Yeah.
But what's really fucked up about currently is like, and it's happened twice in the last couple of weeks, where like somebody's waiting at a light and somebody runs up and pulls a gun on them, and the person gets out the car and
Mm-hmm.
gives them the fucking car. And dude got in the car. It was some 70-year-old lady. He got in the car and then shot the bitch.
Damn.
What the fuck did you shoot her for?
That's fucking crazy.
Like, what are we doing? So
Wow.
there's just so many fucking times where we hear every fucking week, like somebody gives them whatever they fucking wanted,
Mm-hmm.
and then they pop them anyway. So
Yeah.
it goes back to that shit, like if I'm going to work and somebody's trying to rob me, the fuck you're gonna get off of me, I don't know. But they
Yeah.
don't know either, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna get $2, like a fucking bus card, like, but like why should I give you what you want? You might shoot me anyway. So what's the
Yeah.
fucking point? And
Mm-hmm.
and now that's what it's really becoming. Because you remember whenever Shannon got robbed for Jordans
Mm-hmm.
on the corner,
Yeah.
like the lady pulled the gun on her or had it in her pocket or pretended she had a gun. I don't remember the details of the story,
Yeah.
but I know there was the person supposedly had a gun, but she didn't get shot. She gave him the
Yeah.
motherfucking shoes and walked home barefoot.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the fucking 90s, right?
Yeah.
Or yeah, I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
it
that
was
was
the
the
90s.
90s still.
Like, and it was just like, it's getting, people are just fucking nuts, man. It's just,
Yeah, that's crazy.
and I don't know if it's, because these fucking idiots, start smoking weed at fucking 10 and 9. There's fucking
Mm-hmm.
videos on fucking World Star every other day where some little 9-year-old is fucking, or 8-year-old is smoking weed better than me. I can't even hold the shit in like that. What the fuck is
Yeah.
y'all doing? Like, to where y'all just, hitting blunts, and it's, where the fuck is your parents at? Like,
Yeah.
and then that, because I done met a few motherfuckers who were like potheads, but like potheads from whatever birth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And fucking, they're just not right. It's almost like they have some sort of weird form of autism or something. They're not right in the fucking head.
Yeah.
And I just wonder if it's from some of these, kids, whatever, drinking lean and popping Percocets and, Vicodin and all that shit, and it's having some sort of fucking effect on them long term, because these motherfuckers are getting more and more and more violent. Like, they
Yeah.
they literally just throwing your life away for, like, you shot that old bitch for what?
Yeah.
Like 3-4 weeks ago, there was a dude, you might have heard about it, who just went on a spree, and he was in like the parking lot of like UIC, and there was some Asian dude sitting in his car. He
I
walked
heard
up
something
and
about
just
it.
unloaded on him, walks out the parking garage. There was this elderly lady across the street. He walks across the street and just lights her up.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes into this building, so, somewhere else. And there was some female security guard. He popped her ass, like, and then he's, went to his apartment building, robbed somebody that he knew for their car.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he knew the person. He didn't shoot them though.
Yeah.
Like took they car and then went and shot 3 more people. So he fucking
Damn.
shot 7 people. 4 of them died.
Jesus. That's fucking
Like,
crazy.
and the cops killed him whenever they caught up with him.
Mm-hmm.
But he was black, so that's expected, right?
Yeah, if he
Like,
was a white guy, they would be like, "Hey, what's going on,
right, put
buddy?"
it down, buddy. Don't make me do this. You don't want to do this.
He's got a tear in his eye. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
I had sent you that fucking video, or did you send me the video of that dude that popped them 2 cops? It was a white dude, and the cops were trying to get him out of the car, and they're literally pulling on his arm.
I think he
And
sent
this
me that.
motherfucker gets out the car, somehow takes the cop's gun, and does this little like pop, 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 pop. He clearly was trained on how to fucking shoot.
Yeah.
And I don't think he killed either one of them, but the way he lit their ass up like it was a Tom Cruise movie or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, and only thing I could say was, well, if he was black, y'all would have shot him.
Yeah.
Y'all would have pulled the fucking guns out. I
Yep.
saw this one video the other day, and it's fucking disparaging the way they treat white people compared to blacks. But there were these two white bitches, and they were walking out of a Kroger or something.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me make sure my battery. No, I'm not plugged in. Hold on, real quick. And these two bitches are walking out of a fucking whatever, some grocery store somewhere. And apparently something happened inside and they were buying some juice or something. Something didn't go right at the counter. So they throw the money at the person on the counter and walk out.
Mm-hmm.
So they call the cops because it's shoplifting. They're refusing you service and you're trying to force them to, serve you after being an asshole or whatever. So the cops were basically acting like they were scared of these motherfuckers because you will not touch me and me. Get your goddamn hands off of me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't shoplift. Show me the code. And trying all this legal jargon talk as if these bitches know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And if that would have been black people, they would have been like, put your hands behind your back.
They would have got pistol whipped.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Like, and but these two fucking fruit bag cops were just like, well, have a nice day, ma'am. And stupid shit like that. And they're arguing about whether or not they're gonna give the fucking juice back to the people. So the store manager or whoever comes back out and gives them their $5 or whatever the fuck. And from what I could tell, these bitches left with the $5 and they fucking juice.
Wow. There you go. Must be nice.
Man.
Go
But
into a place,
it's
essentially rob that motherfucker, and you get a
right.
thank you as you leave.
Right. Have a nice day, ma'am. Yeah, fuck you. These fucking people, man.
Oh
And it's
man.
just shit like that. It's fucking disparaging, man. You fucking
Yeah.
see this shit going on, and it's bad. It's bad,
Yep.
and I don't see it getting any better.
Well, we'll see what happens, man. Like, I don't know. Shit's escalating. Like,
Pretty quick too.
yeah, something's got to give at some point. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Like,
Yeah, me either.
things ain't all good.
I just feel like it's just gonna go back to the same old political bullshit. We'll be in a war in 2 years. We'll be back in Iraq for whatever fucking oil reason that they're there, whatever other chemicals or jewels they're pulling out of the fucking ground over there.
Yeah.
Like we'll be right back over there, and it is
Yep.
what it is. They're not gonna take any money away from the military to reform or retrain police officers to stop killing black people. Like none of that shit's gonna fucking happen. Like because
Well,
how do you stop outside of like, well, no, you can't even say that because there's rogue fucking like Navy SEALs and shit too. Like I was gonna say like outside of having like a strenuous ass process to become a fucking cop, and then you would have to force all these old fat fucks to fucking be in. You like, look, you either retire or you pass this fucking course.
yeah.
Like but what can you do whenever the fear is inside of them because they don't understand the other side?
Yeah.
Like
So I the part of the reason I kind of don't know what the hell's gonna happen is because we were talking earlier about that insurrection at the
Mm-hmm.
Capitol, like that. So there was this. This is not new, but I believe there was this perception, and you and I know this shit. Cops ain't shit, and they're most
Right.
of them are fucking white supremacist assholes,
Right.
or they're just fucking assholes one way or the other.
Right. They got picked on as a kid and
Yeah.
shit like that, and
But a
now
lot of
they.
them are fucking white, and a lot of
Yeah.
them, even if they're not actively white supremacists, they
Right.
will fuck up black people in a second before they do the same shit to white people.
Right.
Whatever level of white supremacy you want to call that,
Right.
whatever. But
Right. Yeah.
they got that problem.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's always been a problem. But people like Joe Biden haven't necessarily known that shit.
Right.
And now, this is not new, but now they realize that there are going to be circumstances where that interferes with them protecting their privileged, wealthy asses.
Mm.
And so now they might actually be prompted to make sure that the police actually do their fucking jobs the way that they're supposed to. Because, they thought, like, I mean, they seem to be doing okay. They fuck up black people all the time, but everything else seems fine. So whatever.
Right. It's
But
not my
now they
problem.
realize that everything else is not fine. And when you have a bunch of white supremacist ass cops, if you ever get into a situation where a bunch of other white supremacists want your ass, they coming for your ass. And
Right.
so it might be in your best interest now to make sure that the police actually follow the rules. They know what they're doing. They're not just out here just like, look at these. How are you supposed to be a cop? You're supposed to be able to make like intelligent decisions,
Right.
but you believe this stupid QAnon bullshit about the pizza place where they got the kids in the basement of the
In the
pizza place
basement,
molesting them,
Nancy
but there ain't no
Pelosi's
basement.
eating fucking children
Yeah,
and
all this stupid
sacrificing
shit.
babies, and
Yeah.
you know.
So like obviously they've been doing a shit job of like keeping weirdos out of the police in
Right.
this country.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Like if they don't, this is not if we do end up having another situation like this, the police are definitely going to be involved in any, you want to call it a coup, another insurrection type thing. Like
Right.
if they don't get policing under control in this country, have because that's the thing. Those people at the Capitol are scared. They're
Right.
scared of Mexicans. They're scared of the country being different. They're scared of all kinds of shit.
Right.
And I mean, it's not like you can't be afraid of stuff if you're a cop. You can't be scared like that where you start making stupid decisions,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So I
Yeah,
mean, I don't
because
know.
they all think like they be killing me with that. Oh, our jobs! They're stealing our jobs. Like
Yeah.
ain't nobody hiring immigrants to do streets and sanitation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They ain't stealing y'all's fucking jobs. Y'all ain't cutting grass, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Ain't
stop
picking
it.
strawberries.
Right. You ain't picking strawberries and oranges and working in a fucking, nursery where they grow petunias,
Yeah.
or tulips or whatever the fuck.
Uh-huh.
Like, stop it. Like, but yeah, I don't know, man. I just, I just don't have any faith in it at all. Like that, like all of these
Yeah.
people who are, happy that Biden won and blah, blah, blah. Granted, like, I'm glad I'm not gonna have to see Donald Trump fucking up shit, thinking he's doing the greatest job in the world, and like his shit don't stink. He does no wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be it's like a slight ease of like presidential anxiety that was kind of lifted, because I do feel like Biden is the same old douchebag that we had, because I don't ever talk well about Obama with his Hawaiian ass. He
Mm-hmm.
don't know nothing about struggle either with his Harvard stank on him.
Yeah.
But he made you feel better. At least he seemed like he was in some sort of control. You know,
Yeah.
he was a better leader than what Trump was, because Trump, it just seems like, like he was in the lunchroom passing out guns to fucking kids and telling them to go fucking shoot up the schools or something. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's just. But now, I guess the Black Lives Matter thing will go away a little bit because the insurrection happened. So they'll try to focus on that for a little while. But I don't know. I'm not hearing much about it. I know Biden came in. That's what I was gonna say. It's going back to that. Like he's just the same old
Yeah.
racist white dude that don't know shit.
Hmm.
Like, and he's fucking 78.
Yeah.
Come on, like it, and if he was doing shit back in '94 with that fucking crime bill to
Hmm.
fuck black people up, you think he's learned anything? No. What the
I
fuck?
don't, it's possible.
Like,
I don't think so.
like,
But,
yeah, I don't know. I
I
don't
mean,
know,
you're
man.
supposed to give people the benefit of the doubt, but I
Man,
don't
fuck
really believe it.
that. I don't do that shit. I'm not the one. Get the fuck out of here. Benefit of the what? What is that? I don't even understand that. Like, but now, I mean, that's just me. I'm pessimistic and all, but
Hmm.
I got zero hopes for fucking Biden doing anything. He would straight up have to like do something drastic, that changes shit for real. Now, I do feel like he's got a pretty good chance to get a bunch of his shit passed, because
Hmm.
he's not gonna have that, oh well, the House or the Senate is gonna block every single thing that I try to do. No, they're all fucking Democrats, or majority of them.
Yeah.
So you ought to be able to do something. I don't know what the fuck that something's gonna be, but I know Kamala will probably focus on some dumb shit that nobody cares about, like they usually do.
Hmm.
Vice presidents, because let's face it, what the fuck do they do anyway? Sit around waiting for a fucking tiebreaker that never fucking happens half the fucking time.
Well, so that's the thing, actually, though, because this Senate is split 50-50, literally. So
Mm.
she might be voting
Oh,
more
okay.
so than,
Than any other
yeah, because it's normally
recent
not
vice
literally
president.
50-50, but now
Okay.
it's literally 50-50.
Okay. So, mm,
So yeah, I don't know, but well, yeah, like they do not have a good track record.
no, especially Kamala's fucking ass.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. I mean, we'll see, of course, but man, there's no positive thinking on this side of the table. Tell you
Yeah.
that much.
I'm not I'm not feeling confident either. Like I don't even normally I have faith in these people protecting their own interests,
Hmm.
but I don't even think they really know what's going on to really adequately protect their own interests anymore.
Right.
Because like it's just like we're in the weeds now.
Right.
Because like you said, what I believe exactly what you said. Like things have reached the point now. They were always going to. We've been headed in this direction. Donald Trump just sped it up by maybe 10, 20 years.
Probably.
But
Yeah,
things
I
have
can see
reached the
that.
point now. Some fairly drastic changes need to be made.
Right.
Joe Biden doesn't want to do it. He doesn't have to do it. Hey, he's afraid to, whatever, that's fine. I mean, but don't be surprised when these motherfuckers storm the Capitol again, or we get white supremacists running around killing people,
Right.
like doing some crazy shit. I don't even want to say nothing, but
Right. Yeah.
but
Drudge
doing
it up.
some, yeah,
I knew them bitches weren't gonna do nothing on inauguration day.
yeah,
I knew that. Now, something I will fucking put out there is fucking Biden is probably more likely to be fucking shot than the last few presidents, because of all these redneck motherfuckers that love sucking Trump's mushroom shaped dick so much.
Yeah, that's
Like,
probably true,
so
unfortunately.
so he might be in some trouble there. Secret Service might need to be doing their job, but
Yeah.
I don't like, as far as policies and shit like that, I ain't looking for nothing from them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And I don't get fucking stimulus checks anyway, so fuck them.
We're gonna see what happens with this. With the $1,400 stimulus check, they were talking about $2,000 checks. And they're like, well, technically, I mean, you already got 600, so
So let's just shave off. Right, because people still couldn't use 2 fucking grand. Fucking faggots.
Exactly. Like you being this fucking cheap ass, like motherfuckers out here starving, can't pay their
Right,
rent, and you want to fucking, I mean, let's not, let's not be, picky or whatever. Like motherfucker,
right,
this is like I'm literally starving to death. I'm out here, I haven't had water in the desert for like two
right,
weeks.
right,
And you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give you a little bathroom cup, a little Dixie cup full of water.
right,
And then you come
right.
back with like a little cap of like when you get the cough syrup
Yeah, yeah,
and it says Dixie on the side. I
right,
mean, it's technically a Dixie cup.
right,
Like motherfucker, that already wasn't that much water, and now
right.
you're gonna even
Nah, yeah. You gonna give them a
man,
thimble of fucking water.
yeah,
So, I don't know. I mean, I guess this country still ain't shit.
yeah.
So,
We'll see what happens,
it's
man. But yeah,
probably still better to live here than in some other places, though.
I'm not ready to go to Mexico yet.
Yeah, nah, the cartel can keep that shit.
Yeah, fuck
Them
that shit.
motherfuckers got a whole new level of violence down there. We don't know shit about that.
Yeah,
Fuckers hanging people from, you know, fucking
crazy shit. Yeah.
crazy shit, dragging dead bodies behind trucks
Uh-huh.
around in circles. Like they circle the block with a dead dude dragging.
Yeah.
And they just wait for the police. They don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are some fucking criminals, man.
Yeah.
Like, motherfuckers that'll pop a motherfucker and wait for the cops to show up and hand them the gun. Here's all the evidence you need.
Mm-hmm.
You know, book me,
I
baby.
I dare you.
Right,
Like, oh, I don't think that'll be necessary, sir.
right,
It's, like this is what happens whenever, the United States government is basically helping, people sell drugs like the CIA
right.
when they were helping
Yeah,
to sell fucking crack.
yeah, and with all of this declassified shit that comes out from the fucking CIA, Project Blue Book, all this other weird shit that
Mm-hmm.
these motherfuckers have done. Why is the CIA not shut down yet? They
Yeah.
constantly do ridiculously illegal things,
Mm-hmm.
but yet, it's a necessary evil, really.
Yeah. Yep.
That's your fucking excuse. It's necessary.
Yeah.
All right. These motherfuckers, man.
That I mean, that's all of this bullshit. You can only have so much bullshit before it just starts to get everywhere.
Right.
It's like imagine if you had like a counter on your counter in the kitchen. You had like a little like when you buy like a little popcorn at Christmas time, you got the little
Yeah.
metal container.
Yeah.
Imagine you have one of those on the counter with a bunch of fucking turds in it. And like you're supposed to be in the kitchen every day making food, and but you have a no turds in the food policy.
Right.
But yet you knowingly keep this little container right there with a bunch of turds in it. Like, what are you
Right.
doing?
Right.
Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, eventually something's gonna happen. It's
Again.
guaranteed.
Right.
Yeah.
Flies are gonna find it.
Hmm.
Something.
Yeah.
Like,
You're just doing some dumb shit and expecting like, oh, it'll be fine.
right. But shit never happens to those fucking people.
Yeah.
Like like with all that shit that came out, I don't even remember the name of the fucking uh whatever they call them. Like, what's Project Blue Book? That would be like the name of an operation or something.
Yeah.
Like with that Charles Manson motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
There was some little project that came out with him, and they kept letting this motherfucker back out of jail. Like they
What?
knew what he was doing. Like uh they were doing LSD experiments with Charles Manson and a bunch of other motherfuckers to where like prostitutes were spiking people's, John's drinks or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were literally like, sitting in like two-way mirror rooms watching these motherfuckers and trying to
Mm-hmm.
blackmail people and
Yeah.
trying to do whatever LSD fucking acid experiments that they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And Charles Manson was fucking part of that, and he kept getting locked up for stupid shit, and they kept letting him back out of jail.
Interesting. I hadn't really
Like,
heard about that.
yeah, Rogan talks about it. He had this dude on uh who lived across the street from somebody, and it took him 20 years to write a book about it or whatever, but he
Mm-hmm.
had wrote this fucking crazy ass book, and he had went on the show and talked about it or whatever. But again, yet another CIA operation where they're
Yeah.
doing shit with illegal drugs, and they're watching this motherfucker, and they knew he was plotting shit, and they just let him do the shit.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not surprising. Well, I mean, look at 9/11. They knew. So that's one of the things I was explaining to my kids the other day. Because it's really hard to piece together like all these pieces. So there's a
Right.
reason that Osama bin Laden was able to, be in charge of this thing to blow up these buildings and shit. And that's because his dad was connected.
With the bushes and shit.
Because the story, and I had never heard it sort of crystallized, to be really clear until recently.
I've avoided a lot of 9/11 conspiracies
Yeah.
or
Well, this is
whatever,
more
so
a
I had to
history
really.
thing.
Oh, okay.
But back in I don't know when it was, the 40s, the 50s, some shit. Um, Saudi Arabia has never really been big on allowing non-Muslim people into their country to do shit.
Okay.
And through a bunch of just stuff, the United States finally convinced Saudi Arabia, like, hey, we, you guys got a lot of oil. You let us help you get that shit out the ground. You motherfuckers are gonna be loaded.
Mhm.
And eventually, they didn't want to do it at first, but eventually they were convinced.
Yeah.
And so they started pulling all this oil out of the ground.
Right.
Well, at the time, the biggest construction dude in the country, like who owned the biggest construction company for building skyscrapers or whatever, like he was the
Yeah.
biggest construction guy in the whole country.
Okay.
His last name happened to be Bin Laden.
Mm.
And he had like, I don't know, 25 sons, like, crazy shit. And so Osama bin Laden's dad or his granddad, whichever one it was, he was that's how he was loaded because he was the construction guy for all of these oil wells and shit in the entire fucking country. Like he was the top dog.
Right. It was like a
So
monopoly.
yeah, and so because he was the top dog, he had all this money, he had a lot of connections and shit.
Right.
And so whenever Osama bin Laden then starts talking crazy out the side of his mouth, they're not gonna, throw him under a fucking jail like they would some poor kid out of nowhere.
Right.
They
Yeah.
let him get away with it.
Goes back to that same insurrection bullshit.
So eventually he does some crazy ass shit. And then he finally crosses the line. But even still, the day that he did that shit, they like they found his sister. I think it was his sister, a couple sisters. It was at least one sister who was in the US, and they
Mm-hmm.
escorted her out of the fucking country
Hmm.
because they're like, "Oh shit, her brother just did some shit and this is going to be a problem. So we need to get her out of the country because if people find out that she's here, we are not gonna be able to get her out. We need to do this shit now. Because people are gonna
Oh
want her
man.
fucking head. And so they escorted her out of the fucking country. Like, oh, sorry, ma'am, you need to go now.
For your own safety.
Exactly.
That's some
So I mean,
bullshit.
it's an example of how we just, we're just corrupt. We say we have all these rule of law, but that shit never applies to people with
We are a
money.
country of laws.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But I had not realized that direct connection of why, because you don't know how it works in Saudi Arabia. You just know those motherfuckers are rich.
Right.
But it's specifically because Osama bin Laden's father was integral in getting all these billions of dollars out of that country and funneled into these US companies like Shell or whoever.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I never like I said, I see what you mean that that's not like a conspiracy, that's just history.
Yeah.
But like I have avoided a lot of that shit because Rogan will talk about it every now and then. It's like, oh, Tower 7 looks like, or Building 7 or whatever, something 7 looks like it was, professionally demolished the way that it fell,
Yeah.
and this, that, and I don't know. I mean, there's so much other shit that's fucked up. I really don't care about that shit. It was
Exactly. Like,
crazy to go through. It was crazy to see. It
mhm.
it sucks that all them, regular people had to fucking die,
Yeah.
Like I would rather them fly a plane into the fucking Pentagon or the White House or something, which they tried to fly into the Pentagon and blew that motherfucker up real
Hmm.
quick. But like, I don't know. Like there's just so much other shit that's fucked up that's not even on my fucking radar.
Yeah, like that's why would you spend so much energy trying to prove that shit when you got all these fucking low-hanging fruit
Right.
everywhere else?
Everywhere else.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't make any sense. And I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of like you had mentioned earlier about like you being an accelerist or something like that. What
Accelerationist, yeah.
accelerationist? Like
Mhm.
part of me feels like similar because it's almost like the only thing you can do is just tear all this shit apart and start over.
Yeah.
Like because you're never gonna get rid of corrupt officials that are taking bribes and doing that's the fucking jobs that they're in.
Hmm.
People are gonna try to get shit done under the table, because that's how business has always been done here.
Yeah.
And the part that infuriates me is that they try to pretend like it's like that's not what it is.
Yeah.
Like I would rather you know, them just openly be fucking criminals, like in fucking Mexico with the cartel. Cartel don't try to pretend like they don't, kill 400,000 people a year or something like that.
Yeah.
They advertise the shit. Might as well put it on cartel Twitter. You know
We
what I
don't sell
mean? Like,
drugs, sir. We sell donuts. I don't know what you're talking about.
right, exactly. Like,
Like, come on, dude, for real.
oh, this is a donut shop, really? So you just sniff donuts all day? That's why there's white powder on your fucking nose. You
You
just
only
smell
sell
the
powdered
fucking
donuts, huh?
right. Yeah. Like, and then they fucking caught this submarine off the coast or whatever, somewhere in the fucking Pacific Ocean.
Uh-huh.
And they pull out, is it 17 tons of fucking coke or something like
Damn.
that? Like it was street valued for $273 million.
You
Like,
know, for some motherfuckers that are supposedly, oh, we know everything about business, and this is America. Like, if they really wanted to kill the fucking dope game in this country, they would just legalize that shit.
just fucking legalize it.
Because, like, are you
Again,
gonna go through that much trouble when I can just go to motherfucking Walgreens and buy a little thing of fucking Coke?
right.
for however
Like,
much. Like you're not gonna be trying to smuggle up motherfucker. These motherfuckers built a submarine. That's
a
some
fucking
fucking James Bond
submarine,
shit.
man. Like, and some fucking redneck jumps on the back of it. He starts banging on the fucking port door, like, and because it was like not fully submerged. It was still like
Uh,
on the surface, and the Coast Guard or whatever got it, and some gun ho ass fucking white boys, yeah, open the fucking door, like they ain't got guns in there. You
yeah,
fucking 17,000 pounds or 17 tons of fucking cocaine. You just gonna, with no protection to yourself, you just gonna bang on a fucking, door and think that you're not gonna get shot in the fucking face. He didn't.
yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's a stupid white boy fucking confidence.
It would
Like,
have been
so
funny as
fucking
hell
stupid.
if they had like some electrocute motherfuckers just
Yeah.
standing on the outside of our
Mhm.
submarine button.
Fucking people, man. But yeah, that's Rogan also had this black dude, Dr. Carl something,
hmm
on his show, but he's got like dreadlocks or something. This motherfucker does heroin,
Oh, I think I know the guy you're talking about.
like pure heroin, but he was saying, like heroin at the right dose could be really beneficial, this, that, and the other thing. And he was talking about how like he takes heroin regularly. Like he was straight
Wow.
up just on Rogan talking about it like it was okay and normal. And, they talked about all the stigmas connected to it. And then Rogan's
Yeah.
like, I would do cocaine with you. I would do a little heroin with you, because I know that I'd be getting the, pure shit. He was some sort of scientist too. So,
Yeah.
and he was in charge of fucking doing experiments or whatever they call it, tests or
hmm
whatever they fucking call it,
There, that sounds like
but
sort of like that microdosing mentality.
yeah, that's exactly what he was kind of talking about, because he was
Okay.
talking about in like low doses, heroin's really beneficial, it's really relaxing, and it's, and he kept saying like cocaine and stuff was really fun to do like with your mate.
hmm
Like you could have a really good romantic evening on cocaine, and it's just it's like, how are you still employed, fucker?
Yeah,
Like,
that's crazy.
how? Also, how were you in charge of a bunch of drugs?
Yeah.
Like, still, and just, and I think he was a professor at some fucking college, some big shit college. Like, but they know this, and
Yeah.
this is what the fuck, and you're black, and they're
Yeah,
letting a
that's
black heroin addict, you know fucking just stay in charge of some fucking drugs and experiments. Get the fuck out. I was like, whatever, dude.
yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane, some of the reasons why I've lost fucking jobs, and
Yeah.
then you got this dude, he's just fucking smacking it up. And like, it's fine. Let's give him more authority, more money. Sure, why
Yeah.
not? Like, oh, like you could literally go to this dude's house and find heroin or coke.
Wow.
Like you could literally go to this guy's fucking house. We everybody knows what he's doing, but yeah, it's okay.
That is crazy.
It's all right. No biggie. No biggie. Oh man, I don't know what else has been going on.
Um, I
Guess
don't know,
that's
man.
guess that's pretty much it for
Yeah. I mean,
the
that's a lot.
recent. Yeah, the recent activities. I don't know. I think these redneck motherfuckers are done though. They fucking lashed out and they had their revolution and whatever they think of it. I'm sure some of them are out there spouting how it was successful somehow. But
Yeah, like we'll see. Like depending on how these people get treated will
right.
determine whether or not this happens again anytime
Mhm.
soon.
Yeah. That was one of the first things that I had thought of too. I was like, couldn't they just pull? Because every one of them motherfuckers had a cell phone on them.
Oh
So
yeah.
couldn't you just pull like and triangulate people who were at the Capitol that day
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
and find them that way?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they definitely that's how they're whittling down the list. Okay, we're gonna, get this big list of all the motherfuckers that were right around the
Mm-hmm.
Capitol between these hours.
And in
And we're gonna look
question,
at all of them, cross-reference it with pictures and videos, shit like that.
ooh, that's a tedious job right there.
Yeah.
Because watching hours and hours of fucking video and then trying to clean up images so that it's.
A lot of it's
Whew.
done with computers though.
So it's all automatic and shit.
Yeah. It's just like here's the video and you just have it look at it and it picks out like here's 25 people we were able to pick out of this video,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, I wonder how long they're gonna be locking these motherfuckers up for it too. Like how many they're gonna get total,
Mhm.
because they're not gonna get 1,000 people. I'm sure they probably don't even
No.
want that many. They just want all of the big ones that were flossing on fucking social media like idiots,
Yeah.
and then and that's something else too. Like I don't watch plenty of fucking videos going back to the carjacking shit of like motherfuckers filming themselves robbing a fucking pizza man. What the fuck? Why would you put that on film?
That's
And
the
then you're gonna upload it. What?
I call the pizza man to my house. I rob him when he comes to my door. And then I upload it on fucking Facebook. I don't understand what the police doing in my house, man. I don't
Right.
understand. How'd they
Fucking
find
guy.
me?
Why me? Fucking people, man. Shit's
Oh
getting out of
man.
hand, though, man.
Yeah.
Or it's not getting. Shit is out of hand. I guess I should
Yeah, I mean
stop
it kind
fronting.
of is.
It's just not getting there. It's fucking out of hand. You got insurrections happening and shit.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. You think Trump's still gonna be in the media, or you think he's
Oh
he's gonna
yeah.
step back a little bit?
He's well, so here's the thing. Like
Did they give him his Twitter account back yet?
no, he's as far as I know, he's gone forever from Twitter,
Oh, for real?
but he might be able to go back on Facebook. They haven't
Okay.
decided if he's permanently banned from
Okay.
Facebook. But like so if they go through with this impeachment,
Hmm.
he's gonna be in the news still,
Okay.
talking about how it's bullshit and he didn't do
Right.
anything and they stole the election from me. So yeah, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. Like he's
Okay.
probably gonna be like I wouldn't be surprised. What is it? I would say by the time March comes around, he's not doing fucking tours again.
Hmm.
Make America great or what some
Right.
bullshit. Just
Right.
going around so people can come see because these motherfuckers will pay. So he's just gonna be collecting that money, just go
Right.
around, talk shit. Yeah, they did us wrong, huh?
Right.
We should do something.
That that's something else too, because him running around crying about losing the election, like how is it legal for you to just flat out fucking lie like that? You got
Yeah.
zero proof. And then whatever election fraud does actually take place every election,
Mm-hmm.
like it's probably not enough to really sway it.
Yeah.
It's like I just don't understand how. But it goes back to that shit that like pisses me off. Like, why are y'all pretending like the CIA is legit.
Mm-hmm.
Like why are we pretending these things? But then, again, you want to lock black people up from taking a pound of weed out of Indiana into Illinois, and you want to call them drug traffickers, and you
Mm-hmm.
want to give them football numbers and put them in jail for 88 fucking years and
Yeah.
shit like that. Like I don't fucking understand. But again, I try to understand the world without looking through like a racist lens, but it just always goes full circle right back to it. It's
Uh,
bullshit because somebody's fucking racist about something.
that's one of the, in my opinion, that is the key. That's the cornerstone problem of this country is white supremacy because in like a big part of people being poor in this country has to do with jobs and benefits and white supremacy and not wanting to help people because they're not fucking white.
Right.
And you have families that don't have, money because the parents end up getting felonies and they can't get a job. Like just all of this stuff, a lot of it just comes back to white supremacy. Because hypothetically, if white people were being treated the same way that black people are, they'd be like, whoa, this is not good. This is not working the way it's supposed to. We need to fix this because we're making things worse.
Right.
But they don't pay attention because they're black, because white supremacy. So, like, even if it's not directly related to white supremacy, it is indirectly.
Right. And speaking of white supremacy, I'm at work, and that's you remember the bitch from last time that I was talking about. We'll
Yeah.
you know
Uh,
fucking we'll call her Karen this time, okay? So this new guy is working at the front desk,
mm-hmm.
and he hadn't been told that like he couldn't bring like the competition to McDonald's or whatever the
Wait, you
fuck.
mean like he can't go to lunch and go get Burger King and bring it back and eat it?
Correct.
That's so fucking petty.
But it's and I was about to fucking call this fucking petty party. So and another thing is like the one that really gets me is like there's a Subway right down the street, right?
Uh-huh.
And you can't go to Subway. When are you guys getting into the business of selling sub sandwiches?
Yeah.
Somebody wants a cold cut and you're saying that's competition to you. That's not competition to you.
Yeah.
Like, what the
Wow.
fuck are we talking about? So anyway, he hadn't been told, or maybe he had, and he just didn't, he fucked up or whatever, if you want
Yeah.
to call it that. But he had fucking Starbucks, and he had a
Oh, damn.
Starbucks cup.
Even coffee too?
Yeah,
Wow.
fucking yeah, because Dunkin' Donuts is a big one. Now, the only thing that makes this kind of stupid is they literally give us free coffee. Like you could go upstairs and you
Uh,
could literally get any one of their little lattes or
oh.
cappuccinos or macchiatos or whatever the other O's are that
Mm-hmm.
fucking all these different goddamn you can't even order coffee in this country anymore,
That fancy shit.
without speaking French or fucking Italian or something.
Yeah.
But
Vente macchiato.
right. Oh man, Lydia hit me with one the other day. We pulled into a Starbucks. It was a few weeks ago, but I don't even remember what the fuck she said. But it was something. It did have macchiato in it, but it was like 6 other words, and I was, what the fuck did you just order? Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea what the fuck she was drinking, and then that's when I was like, can't a motherfucker just drink coffee anymore? But so he's got his little Starbucks cup on the fucking counter.
Uh-huh.
Fucking petty princess Karen
Mm-hmm.
comes in. She was the only one in that day. Okay.
Yeah.
and then she fucking leaves. Lo and behold, we got the fucking this dumb fuck manager that's not my manager, but she's this there. Um, she gets up and wants to have like a fucking group discussion or a group huddle about bringing in, the competitors fucking products into the building.
Yeah.
And it's like this bitch really saw some poor motherfucker, okay,
Mm-hmm.
with her privileged ass drinking some fucking coffee that she probably drinks. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how that motherfucker is affording Starbucks coffee, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but still, he splurged on some Starbucks, right? And he's got his little $10 cup of coffee, and this bitch is really gonna go send a fucking email
Uh-huh.
because she saw a Starbucks cup in the bill.
Yeah.
She didn't even pick it up to see if it was full, I'm sure. She just saw a fucking Starbucks cup and went
Mm-hmm.
all fucking privileged. Oh, they can't be doing this, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I thought this was America, people. Motherfuckers can't even, that's the silliest shit to me.
That is.
Like,
That's ridiculous.
that's a ridiculous rule. You trying to tell people where to shop, literally. Stop it.
This is
Fucking
the this
communist
is the
bastards.
only thing I will say about why. See, this is part of my problem. I've always had a problem when I worked at dumbass corporate places because they feel like they don't have to explain shit to people,
Right.
and
Yeah,
people are
that's
just supposed to
definitely
be with
true.
okay whatever you say because I'm the massa.
Right.
So what massa say, what you gotta do what massa say.
Okay.
But like, I remember you saying that they did like food testing or some shit there, where they when
Mm-hmm.
they come up with new bullshit they try to tell people.
Right.
So perhaps there's some type of a thing with like corporate espionage and like competitors and because we have like these new secret products here we can't have. I don't know. I'm just
Right.
pulling it
I'm
out of
just
my ass,
speculating. Yeah.
maybe. But if that's the case, everybody should know that so that it doesn't seem like you're being petty. Like,
Right.
hey, it's not us. There's this federal rule. It's really weird. And what
Right.
that means is that we can't allow people to bring competitor stuff in because then they might be able to sue us and say that we stole their chocolate chip cookies is really, we copied it or, whatever, some
Right.
bullshit like that. But you explain that to people
Right.
and then they don't feel
And
like you're
people
being an
have
asshole.
right. And then people have less of a fucking problem with it. But
Yeah.
and that's something that has forever kept me in trouble working all of these different jobs that I have, is because as soon as their fucking authority gets questioned,
Mm-hmm.
then, oh, this guy's a fucking whistleblower, this guy's a fucking troublemaker, we got to get rid
Mm-hmm.
of him.
Yeah.
So then, all of a sudden your supervisors become super petty with you, and they
Mm-hmm.
want to write you up and follow the protocol so that they can legally fire you,
Yeah.
blah blah blah, for any little fucking thing.
Yeah.
And then it's oh my god, man, it's the bullshit just never fucking stops. It's
Yeah.
just always more and more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I couldn't believe, and it had to be that she was literally the only motherfucker that walked into that fucking room,
Yeah.
literally,
Mm-hmm.
because we all fucking sighed when she got there and we found out who it was, because everybody in the fucking office hates that bitch.
Yeah.
Why? Because she's a cunt.
Yeah.
That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's just a miserable old hag ass bitch that has nothing better to do with her fucking goddamn barren fucking womb. It's fucking bitch.
You fucking savage.
Fucking old maid ass bitch. Can't stand that hoe. God
Oh man. I
damn.
mean, that's the
Fucking
thing to keep
ugly
in
ass
mind. Like
dog face looking bitch.
she does that shit to other people because of her. It doesn't have nothing to do with them.
Oh, right. Yeah. 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 Definitely. But too, the company is complicit with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
you know? So
Yeah.
she did a good thing as far as her supervisors are concerned. She's stopping those poor motherfuckers from drinking our rich people coffee.
Yeah.
The
Mm-hmm.
fuck out of here. Let me see the CEO with a fucking, fucking Starbucks cup or so. I slap the shit out of his ass. It's like, really, bitch? Really? Fire yourself, fucker.
Yeah. Like we can't have
Like,
those cups in the building.
right.
Just slap it
Fuck
out of
out
their
of here.
hand. Blah.
Blah. Now clean it up, nigger.
And that's the problem, because you know that if one of these executives walked into the building with Starbucks, they'd be like, "Oh, they probably wouldn't even say
They
anything.
wouldn't say shit to
But
him.
if they did, they'd be like, "Oh, don't forget, blah blah
Right.
blah,
They'll be like,
please."
oh, well, I was going to put it in another cup when I got upstairs. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here. And then, two, stop acting like fucking Dunkin' Donuts doesn't have better coffee than you motherfuckers. All right?
Fix your
Like,
fucking coffee.
right. Fix your fucking coffee. Buy some different beans. Stop
Yeah.
buying beans from fucking places with slavery. You fucks.
Yeah, exactly.
You
I,
buy
it,
beans from somebody who fucking pays their people and gives a shit about what they actually do for a living. And,
yeah.
and instead of taking these, shit coffee beans that you guys have from whatever poor ass fucking country they come from,
Uh-huh. You
like
know why
that
your
better
coffee
just
tastes like that? Because I can taste the fucking sadness in these beans. That's why.
you can fucking taste the poverty in this shit. Like,
Like,
fucking
ooh,
guys don't give a fuck about anything.
this tastes like slave labor.
Right.
Need to add some more cream to this one.
Right.
A little more sugar too.
Right. This is so bitter. Oh, why are slaves so bitter?
Oh man, it's so bogus.
Man. Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, that was the fucking petty princess.
Yeah.
This fucking bitch, man. I can't stand motherfuckers like that. Look, just go to work. Shut the fuck up. Leave people the fuck alone, man. Like I've never understood them motherfuckers that are just always in. And the bitch that called the little huddle or whatever the fuck.
Uh-huh.
Like, she's another one. She's black, but she's one of them bougie ass black people. She's a fucking
Yeah.
Jehovah's Witness. I knew there was something wrong with that bitch when I first fucking met her, and she opened her fucking mouth. I'm like, this bitch is off.
Uh-huh.
She's fucking off. And then I find out she was a fucking Jehovah's Witness. It was like, she's in a fucking cult. That's why,
Yeah.
you culty cunt. And then she's got the fucking nerve to take all of the fucking holidays off. Bitch, you can't celebrate shit in your fucking cult. The fuck are you doing? But it's okay for you guys to drink.
Yeah.
The fuck? Alcoholic
Wow.
ass bitches.
That is
Jeez.
fucking funny.
I knew there was something wrong with that bitch though. When I fucking met her.
Wow.
That's sad whenever you can meet a motherfucker and something's off and it's their fucking religion.
Yeah, it's weird too.
It's weird. It's weird as fuck. Witnesses
Mhm.
are just fucking weird.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that decide to stay in it,
It's
when they
I
like
think a big
I
part of
get
it,
it if your mom's making you go
yeah.
while you live under her fucking roof, but once you're out from underneath that culty shit, why wouldn't you fucking change? Fucking weirdo.
It's a similar problem. We have a problem in this country with accepting reality. Like we don't
Big
want to
time.
accept the reality that we're still fundamentally a white supremacist country.
Right.
We don't want to accept the reality that, we tolerate religious crazies way more than anybody else. Like I heard
Yeah.
somebody talking the other day. They're talking about that guy, Tony Blair, who used to be the prime minister in the UK.
Yeah.
He he's almost considered like a religious nut
Okay.
to the extent that how religious he is.
Uh-huh.
He's more like American.
Okay.
So it's like just
It's like a
relatively to what it is.
Scientologist or some
No,
weird
like he's a
goofy ass shit.
Christian. He's a
Okay.
Christian, but in Europe, if you were to take the average Christian person from this country and just take them over to Europe and
Mike
have them
Pence.
talk about their religion, people would be like, "Yo, this motherfucker's kind of crazy."
Right. Mike Pence.
Yeah, like even the ones that are not as bad as him are still kind of
Okay.
like, "Yo, this motherfucker's crazy." Like
Yeah.
regular people, how much they love Jesus in this country.
Right.
In other countries, they'd be like, "Yo, this motherfucker's a little too much with their religion," you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so he had to actively hide how much of a religious weirdo he was to get elected. He had to downplay that shit.
Mm.
But here you have to like play that shit up if you want to get elected, especially by Republicans.
Right.
You gotta, wake up in the morning with Jesus on your fucking mind and
Right.
you know.
There
And I
was
think that's part of the problem. But again, like we have this problem with being okay with people who don't want to accept reality. The reality is
right.
that you are in kind of like a cult. It's one thing to believe in Jesus and all this other stuff, the Holy Ghost, like whatever, that's fine. As long as you don't start acting crazy. But whenever you start saying, well, I'm not going to give my kids vaccinations because the Bible says I shouldn't do it, or I'm not going to let them get a blood transfusion, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever kind of weird, wacky ass shit you don't want to do because Jesus is telling you not to do it.
Right.
That's when it starts to be a problem. And that's kind of a uniquely American thing because in other countries, like people would not fuck with you if you were like that religious. They'd be like,
Right.
yo, this motherfucker's crazy. I'm not being
Right.
friends with them. Like, that's
Fucking
fucking weird.
extremist.
Yeah,
Fucking
exactly.
weirdo. Like, but even so, recently there was, and I guess this is something we could talk about briefly, but I sat in on this little class
Hmm.
uh, with our church, and I hesitate to say "our" because I'm just not into it,
Yeah,
really.
I
Like,
feel you.
but it was a class about total forgiveness, right?
Hmm.
So, and just in general, whenever somebody's talking and they're just, oh, I want to give all the glory to God and this, that, and the other thing, and okay, well, that motherfucker's responsible for all the bad shit that's happening too then.
Hmm.
Like, oh no, that's the devil. The devil is a lie. The devil's always working. The devil wants you to think it's Jesus.
Yeah.
And it's even
Like, who
that shit
created the fucking
feels
devil, though?
right. Exactly.
Lucifer was an angel.
Right. Like, and even some of that shit still feels kind of culty to me.
I
Like
mean, it
just
kind of
just
is.
just just listening to people. And like I read people and all this shit. So when you're on a Zoom call, you can still get a pretty good
Yeah.
impression of a person. And some of these people really believe this shit. And hey, whatever gets you through the day. I don't give a fuck
Yeah.
whether you drink a tub of fucking Jack Daniels, or you have a happy, healthy helping of Jesus.
Hmm.
But the shit, even regular shit, like going to church or
Yeah.
hearing church, because it's over Zoom now,
Hmm.
which I don't listen to very often at all because it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't, I don't walk away feeling better or feeling more positive. Like it really does something for like Lydia, but it doesn't do anything for me like that.
Hmm.
Like, and people could believe whatever the fuck they want. I don't give a fuck. But it does feel a little culty even still to me.
Yeah.
And it kind of creeps me out sometimes, but it's normal enough, so to speak. But even some of those people, especially the people that just anytime anything happens, the first thing out their mouth is "won't he do it?" or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that, or just that. I don't know.
It's,
I just haven't lived the Jesus experience and seeing the glories of God in the light of man every day of my life and shit like that. It's just it does nothing for
I, I feel like, probably a big part of it is like if I were to point to the one problem with Christianity,
me.
or I mean, just about any religion, but specifically, I'll say Christianity because I'm familiar with Christianity.
Right,
If I were to point to the one nugget core problem, is the infallibility of God. God cannot make any mistakes.
right,
Having that one rule makes all kinds of shit not make sense.
right.
Because if God could make mistakes, oh
Then a
well,
bunch of shit makes sense.
and then I would be more okay with like, okay, like it's a story, like you learn,
Right.
improvement. But
You're looking
no,
for the lesson.
yeah, everything you have to, anytime you find some fucked up shit that happened in the Bible, you have to then go do some mental gymnastics to backtrack that shit to make it okay. That God, like, go to the Old Testament
Right,
and like shit was like King David is like, oh damn, I'm gonna kill this dude so I could take his fucking wife.
right,
Like, how are you? That's King David was his boy. Like, he's the fucking chosen guy. Like, you're gonna be Jesus's ancestor. Like, you're the
right,
fucking homie. But yet, God let him be such a piece of shit.
right,
Like, but I'm supposed to think God. Oh, God he's everything. He's doing everything right. And like, no, none of this shit makes any fucking sense. And that's the problem. Is that you you have to believe everything. You are given no choice.
right.
And that's where the whole culty part of it comes from.
Yeah, because I feel like you're just supposed to blindly follow.
You are. That's the whole thing. Faith.
Like, right. And it's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. I could deal with it a little bit. I like listening to the pastor talk because we've
Yeah.
had a lot of personal conversations. There was one time during my heavy drinking when I was trying to quit and all that shit. I'd go
Hmm.
talk to him every week for a couple months or something like that.
Yeah.
And so he's helped me out a lot. And I know he's just like a genuine good dude,
Yeah.
but a little heavy on the Jesus. A little
And
heavy on the
yeah.
Jesus.
And it's hard for me sometimes because it's hard for me. I try not to be judgmental anyway, but it's hard for
Right.
me sometimes. It's just the personal thing.
Yeah.
I'm more judgy. Even if I don't say shit, I know that I judge people in my
No,
head.
yeah, I openly judge motherfuckers. I don't even fuck it.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
There's a lot of like, as long as they keep it at like a high level,
Hmm.
I can go to church with somebody, I can listen to their little stories, but you got to keep that shit high level. When you start trying to get specific,
Right. It
and
all
you
falls
start,
apart.
yeah, like, no, you know what? Let's just listen to the story about how Jesus, somebody said some shit to him. He was like, it's okay, I'm Jesus. I'm gonna be nice anyway. Like, oh, damn, look, that's what we're supposed to do, be nice anyway. Like, you guys just keep it like that. When you are the fish and it's a miracle because you believed in it, like, okay, fine, that's
Right.
cool. But when
Right.
you start getting into this specific, like, oh, Jesus is gonna come into your life and like, really?
Well, now, so on the second day, because it was a 2 day thing, they did from
Uh,
like 6 to 8 every both days. And I decided to speak on the second day because the second day it wasn't really nobody talking.
yeah.
And so I had a unique situation because again, it was about total forgiveness and all of that shit
Hmm.
and what it was and all this. And of course, everything leads back to Jesus with them and all that. But
Yeah.
I've gotten pretty good at picking out the parts that I can use. You
Hmm.
know, but I stumped everybody because
Yeah.
I still harbor hate for Monica.
Hmm.
Like I could still put a bullet in that bitch's head and go to sleep. Like, and so I was talking to Lydia earlier that day before the class, and I had kind of come to the realization that part because I'm aware, like when I forgave Cicero over the phone,
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't think the forgiveness took place necessarily right then, you know,
Yeah.
but a few days later when I, finally was just, and I finally made the decision to just let it go, like it did feel like a big burden was like lifted off of me.
Mm-hmm.
And prior to that, years before, I had finally forgave myself for leaving Logan.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so I know that was a big burden. So I know, like, in my heart of hearts, so to speak, that I, for me, need to forgive Monica.
Mm-hmm.
The closest I've come to considering it, and I think it might have been a conversation me and you had, was we were kids back then.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it now, so that's the closest justification that I have for you know what that bitch did with essentially taking my child from me.
Yeah.
And so going back to the class, so I had realized talking to Lydia earlier that day that part of my hesitation for not letting it go is that I've become comfortable in the hate.
Mm-hmm.
So, the way that I worded it to the class was like the question basically was, where do you even start? Like, with, because I feel like that the hatred itself has become a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So not only is it letting go of the trauma from losing Logan, but it would also be like me letting go of this feeling that I've just had for years and years and years and years. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like a friend at this point. So
Mm-hmm.
I explained it to him, and motherfuckers didn't really know what to say other than pray
Yeah.
for Julian, and we gonna get
We
through
gonna
this.
pray to the
And
Lord about that one.
right.
Like really, that's it? That's all y'all got for me? Just
And then damn it, what did they say? They said something about wrapping it back around somehow to like my relationship with God,
uh-huh.
and that's where you got to start, and then I had said something to the effect of like I'm kind of hesitant to do that as well, because it just
Mm-hmm.
hasn't worked out, or anything
Yeah.
like that. Oh well, you got to keep the faith and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
And so
I
I didn't
got you.
get the answer to my fucking question, but
Yeah.
I spoke, and everybody was happy that I shared, because it was dramatic, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
it was one of them things, like they didn't fuckers don't know what to say to me about that shit.
Yeah.
Jesus ain't solving that shit. Jesus
Yeah.
ain't gonna come down and scoop me up and walk across the beach, and there's only one set of footprints, and the fuck is this dinner date with Jesus these motherfuckers be talking about? But you know,
Oh
but
man,
I
that's true.
I
That's
I
so
am
good.
aware that I need to let it go at some fucking
Yeah.
point. But I'm not really sure how to start at this point.
Yeah. I mean, that is a an S tier advanced level. You know how in like Gran Turismo,
Hmm.
instead of A, the top level is
Oh
S.
right, yeah,
That whole jet weird. I don't know if it's just Japanese people.
okay,
S is the top
right,
superior.
right.
That's like a S tier kind of a fucking problem. So, not to throw shade or anything, but
Right.
it's
Yeah.
not surprising that they
Right.
don't
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
don't
They
got
didn't have
nothing.
nothing for me. They
It's
didn't
I
have nothing
think
for
though
me.
like the place to start is like thinking um deliberately and specifically about what you want in your life. Not what you have,
Hmm.
but what you want and figuring out how to get there, get that situation. And so, you know, like you decide, like I have this thing, this friend that sits with me or whatever, however you want to think about it.
Right.
Do I still want this there? Like, you know, with this motherfucker sitting in my head, is he paying rent?
Right.
Probably not.
Nah.
How much food is he
Freeloader.
eating every month? You know,
Right.
like, you know, is he helping me? Like, could I put like, you know, a machine that like prints money over there or something instead of having him
Right.
taking up that space? Like, you know, so it's that kind
Right.
of thing. Like, I think that's where you start. And then I think as you think about that, like your relationship and your opinion on it will possibly start to change. Because I think I know I'm speaking from this personally. I've had similar situation. I probably still do, where I have like anger or sadness that just sort of
Mhm.
has sat with me for years.
Right.
And the very first step of it was actually realizing that it was there.
Mm.
It took me a long time to even realize that, like, yo, like I got this, like the it was a revelation to me whenever I realized, like, holy shit, I have gotten comfortable
Mhm.
with this. Because I remember one time some shit happened and I was like, oh damn, I feel pretty good today. And I was like, oh, but I ain't supposed to feel good because I'm supposed to. And I was like, yo, what the fuck was that all about?
Mm.
And, you know, like it just out of nowhere, I just sort of heard that thought kind of pass through my head. And I was like, yo, like I had gotten used to, like, I didn't like it,
Right.
but I was comfortable
Right.
being like mad about some shit or whatever.
And the closest example of like me finding out that I was definitely fucked up was, you remember when the riots were going on over here and I had called you or whatever and talked to
Yeah.
you about how
Hmm.
like I'm standing in the backyard smoking, and like there's just fucking helicopters and fucking sirens everywhere,
Hmm.
and then you know it just feels fucking hectic, and there was just this calm that came about me,
Hmm.
like I'm home type of thing, you know.
Yeah.
That's when I knew I definitely got fucking PTSD like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, and then that kind of led to, you know, me having this thought about, you know, old buddy of mine, little Mr. Angry, you know,
Hmm.
fucking taking up space in my head and shit. And, you know, and that's just like what you were saying. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
I'm used to being angry all the time. I don't want to be angry all the fucking time, but that's just has been my life for as long as I can remember at this point. I
Yeah.
mean, like, cause I can tell you all of that shit happened, and when I was 23, you know, I haven't seen Logan in 10 years now. This
Yeah.
year, it's been 10 fucking years now,
Oh wow.
and yeah, and it's like I'm institutionalized to a degree, maybe, you know, with the feeling like, but it is hard to let go of the little buddy, you know, like
Hmm.
it's like I don't know what life would be without him at this point.
Yeah.
You know,
I
it's
think
kind of
it's
scary.
from what I've heard other people say, I think it's a very similar thing to like people who smoke.
Hmm.
Because a lot of times people start smoking. Well, I don't know. They really become addicted to smoking, I'll say,
Okay.
whenever they have some crazy shit in their life. And they're like, yo, I need a break from my crazy life. So I'm gonna go smoke this cigarette to calm me down, whatever, you know?
Hmm. Get the little buzz.
Yeah. So then that becomes like it's like a crutch. They become comfortable with it. It becomes that's one of the more difficult things whenever you quit smoking, from what I've heard. I don't know this firsthand.
Right.
But
Okay.
it's the part of it is the physical, the nicotine. But sometimes the bigger part of it is that you have integrated this into like how
Everything that you do.
that's how you deal with stuff is like,
Right.
you know, some crazy shit happens to me. I smoke a cigarette. That's how I get through it. And so
Right.
then like if you remove that without replacing it or rewiring something so that you don't get so stressed out that you feel like you need to have a cigarette, you're trying to fight a losing battle,
Right.
you know? And
Yeah.
like that same kind of dependency, that's
Hmm.
a psychological dependency. You get the
Right.
same dependency. 'Cause I realized a lot of times I was sitting around being all angry and sad and shit just because I was used to it. Not because I was
Right.
like, damn, like nothing happened today. Like today was actually kind of a good day.
Right.
Why am I all fucking
But you know what? Whenever I go through shit like that in my head, I'll be like, oh, okay, it ain't too bad. I had an easy day at work. I didn't really have to do too much.
Mhm.
And come home and, hang out with Aubrey. She's got me playing Dollhouse now
Oh yeah.
all the fucking time. You want to play Dollhouse? Okay, let's play Dollhouse. So, I'll come home and like the day's fine,
Mhm.
but in the back of my head, it's always something like, yeah, but just wait till a motherfucker kicks the front door in and then, sticks a gun in your face and,
Yeah.
tries to steal your kids or, just comes in and carjacks you and shoots you. There's always some
Yeah.
weird shit that like follows that very statement that's like, oh man,
Mhm.
today was a good day, blah blah blah, but what if tomorrow's gonna be worse?
Yeah.
Reminds me of the way Bernie Mac was in them Kid and Play movies.
Oh yeah.
Whenever
Uh-huh.
I think it was Kid who was like, oh, he like came to pick his daughter up or something, he's like, oh, it's a nice day outside. Can't say that, can't say that, it might rain.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice tie you have. Can't say that. Can't say that. You might try to choke me with it, type of thing. And
Uh-huh.
it
Yeah.
was just, it feels a lot like that. Like,
Yeah.
good thoughts try to come through. And then it's just like, yeah, but we live on the west side of Chicago. So you might have skated by the last 10 years and statistically didn't, get a home invasion or something else crazy happened,
Mhm.
but that was just a fucking coincidence. So your days are still numbered, fuck boy,
Yeah.
and then, you go back into all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
I feel you. Yeah, it's a practice, man. It's like they say with meditation.
yeah.
You gotta keep your mind under control.
Right.
Change
Yeah.
those patterns. It's hard though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I
It
was gonna say
definitely is.
earlier, like I'm 43.
Hmm.
I haven't lived in Chicago since I was like 20, let's just say 23.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I think I was 22 or 23 when I graduated.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, well, actually, I graduated in the year 2000.
Oh,
So I
okay.
will have left Chicago next month. It'll be 21 years
Okay.
since I left Chicago.
Wow.
I still lived in Illinois, but I didn't live in Chicago.
Right. I got you. I'm
Even to this,
familiar with the story.
yeah, even to this day, whenever I have like a conflict with somebody
Hmm.
or any type of little, not even bumping heads, but just any type of little conflict, I still have this little voice in my head. It's like, you might have to fight this nigga.
Right. Hmm.
I'm like, this is completely, it's been 20
Right.
years since I've been in a situation where I'm like, I might have to swing on this motherfucker.
Right.
But I still think that like all the time. Like
I know
not
that's
all the
that's
time, but
no, no,
lots of
that's
times.
definitely all the time for me.
Yeah.
Like, because look, and like it's turned into a form of anxiety for me because, like, for instance, we're in Food for Less maybe a month ago,
Hmm.
and this is one reason that I really just don't like going out anymore because I'm just not appropriate, like
Yeah.
in terms of my thoughts.
Uh,
And so we're in line. she had 3 or 4 more items to grab. So if you want to do it in Chicago and you want to get out of a store in a timely manner, because lines are fucked up still.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're fucked up. Like
Yeah.
one line's gonna have 50 people in it.
Yeah.
So you gotta go to the back of the store to get in line, and then you just
Yeah.
slowly, while one person finishes up all of the
Uh-huh.
shopping, then you're just making your way to the front, and then they'll come and join you later, right?
Yeah.
So we did that whole thing. I'm standing there. I'm playing with Aubrey in the cart, trying to pretend like there aren't these 2 ghetto ass niggas standing over here trying to figure out a way to cut in front of somebody, so they
Mm-hmm.
ain't got to stand in this long ass line.
Yeah.
Now, the first part of that was they came down the aisle that I was in, and they saw how the line stretched back behind me, 8 or 9 people,
Mm-hmm.
and they put their shit back on the shelf, and they were talking amongst themselves like, fuck this shit,
Mm-hmm.
and then they just go hover around the front, and they're standing, maybe 3 people back from the front of the line,
Mm-hmm.
and they trying to have a little conversation with motherfuckers, and like one of the dudes turn around and sees Aubrey, and he's like, "Hey, little mama, hey, hey," and then Aubrey's like, she's like winning or whatever. And I
Yeah.
was thinking to myself, I was like, "Good job," you know.
This motherfucker
But
is fishing for an invitation. Oh, you want to
right,
cut in front of me?
right, exactly. Oh, you only got one item here. Go ahead.
Uh-huh.
Get out of here. Giving you shit. Take your ass to the back, nigger. Deliveries are in the rear, asshole. Fuck you coming through the front door for? Piece of shit. I tell you, these fucking niggas just aren't ever gonna learn. And so I'm ignoring them. But the main reason I was trying to avoid eye contact and all that other shit
Mm-hmm.
is because I know what y'all trying to do, and I ain't going. It's just a matter of when you try to test me,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then, oh, here we go. Now I got to hit this nigga in his face. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
or I got to pull the knife out and cut him, or
Yeah.
whatever I'm fucking thinking. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but like even conflict, though I don't really mind getting into it with people, it's not really worth it anymore up here because motherfuckers is just shooting people for flipping them off in fucking traffic.
Yeah.
And I'm from a time you flip a motherfucker off, spit on their car or something, you ain't gonna get killed.
Yeah.
They might get mad and
Like,
try to
fuck
pull
you. Hey,
over.
fuck you too,
Yeah,
buddy.
fuck you too, buddy. But it's just shit like that,
Yeah.
and my mind goes straight to that shit too, like
Yeah.
all the time. Like, okay, I'm gonna have to gaffle one of these motherfuckers. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this shit, this motherfuckers ain't doing this. You know how long I've been standing in this motherfucking line? If you don't take your ass to the back of this line, you know what I mean? Some shit
Yeah.
like that. And then plus, two, like I'm fat as hell, right? So I know that I'm out of shape,
Uh-huh.
and but it's like my mouth doesn't, you know, like
We gonna
so
kick this motherfucker's ass, ain't
it's
we?
like we gonna get him. We gonna start here and fuck him up there and do that. Maybe not,
Who's this we talking about?
Right? Exactly. Whoa. So I still like whenever I get into fucking arguments and shit, I
Uh-huh.
still like, and I've always been one of them motherfuckers that similar to, again, what did you call it, a accelerationist?
Yeah.
Okay, in that regard, whenever I get into a confrontation with people, I intentionally go from 1 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that while this person is on 3, they're just looking at me like I'm fucking ape shit. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this dude's got a fucking problem. And then they'll usually, well, if it's that serious, let me get the fuck out of here. This
Yeah.
guy's about to gaffle me.
Yeah.
Like, but so I know how I am.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm definitely in a position now, not being physically fit anymore. Like that my mouth can definitely cash a check that my body can't fucking,
Yeah.
afford at all, or try to pass a check that my, ass can't cash.
Yeah.
Like, and so that's another reason that I try to, because I still got the mentality, you ain't just gonna walk over a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like similar to, like, I get into a fight, I don't care if it's with fucking Brock Lesnar, you're not just gonna beat my ass. Like,
Yeah.
that's not going down like that either. Like, you want to fight, it's a fight. It will be that at the very least. I might
Yeah.
lose the shit 50%, 70% of the time. You know what I mean? But I'm
Yeah.
still willing to go there.
At the very least, you ain't gonna just talk to me in any way, and I'm
Right,
not gonna do nothing.
right,
I might still get fucking scooped,
right. Yeah,
but
definitely.
I'm not gonna just let you get away with that for
Right.
free.
Yeah,
You might have to pay
yeah.
5 cents, but
Right. Yeah, you
you have
might
to
be
pay
able to
some.
afford it, but it
Yeah.
ain't. Fucking shit ain't sweet around here.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know, but I just really hate fucking going out nowadays, because
Yeah.
there's always, and then these Karen bitches are getting out of fucking hand now too, man. There's fucking Trump hyped all these fucking white people up so fucking much that they really think, that like they want to try to act like they're not scared of black people anymore. Get the fuck
Yeah.
out of here. You guys still fear us more than any fucking thing in the world.
Hmm.
Stop fucking playing with me, bitch. Get the fuck out of my face with that shit, because by the time the
Yeah.
cops gets here, you gonna be unconscious, cut the fuck up, or whatever the fuck, you gonna need medical attention, and by the time the cops get here, chances are I won't be here. Like, they gonna have to find me, you know
I'm not just
pull
gonna
some
stand
camera
around.
footage. Right, exactly. I'm not fucking standing around here, but at the
Yeah.
same time, like, and it's always stupid shit. It's
Yeah.
always, hey, you can't do this, shut the fuck up with this I can't and can shit.
Hmm.
Like, this isn't, like, I don't know, man, it's just starting to feel like the Wild West, man, because
It kind of
the
is.
more, it's like, hustling backwards, because it's like there's all this technology now that has changed all of the criminal games,
Hmm.
from fucking cell phones to cameras. Everybody's a fucking journalist,
Hmm.
like, and like, but yet people are still running around like that shit don't matter. And they still just popping motherfuckers, and all you just get 17 different camera angles.
Hmm.
Like, and will they find them? Maybe. I don't know if they found that dude in New York that excuse me, that and the way that they said it in the report was fucking hilarious, is that this armored truck person was loading a truck, and this guy walked up to him and pushed him over, and then ran off with 2 bags with over $200,000 in it.
Damn.
He pushed you over? Just pushed you over?
That shit had to have like those little ink things in it though.
I don't know if they do, because now the the times that I've seen, and I actually have on my phone some fucking videos of these dumbasses loading up, like whenever I was at the merchandise mart
Hmm.
and just standing around, because that's what they paid us to do, literally in the same fucking spot. They were
Hmm.
right by some fucking ATMs. And this one dude would forever come in with a big ass bag of fucking money, just stacks of fucking 20s and shit like that.
Hmm.
And it'd be in this black bag that was clear. It was like mesh.
Hmm.
Okay. And he would sit it down, and it'd be like behind him, like kitty cornered to him. And then he'd start doing all the different techniques then and pulling out the keys so that he could open this door and it swings this way, another door swings this way, another one, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Those fucking machines are goofy as hell. It
Yeah.
takes them 5, 6 minutes just to get it open. And then you got to go through the next step so that you could actually put the money in the fucking machine.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's on his knees doing something at the bottom of the machine, and the bag is behind him.
Hmm.
Essentially,
Yeah.
I've literally got this fucking recorded, and there's 60, 70,000 fucking dollars in there, and it would be nothing for one of these motherfuckers, literally. So the dude's here, the bag's here, and hundreds of people are coming off of the brown line every time a fucking train pulls up,
Yeah.
walking right past him. You let one of these young boys come and snatch a stack of fucking money, and he's a fucking, he runs like he's a fucking track star or something.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone.
Yeah.
You're fucking stupid. You're not protecting this fucking money. So I could totally see them not having fucking die in them fucking bags, especially if they were doing some of the same shit that I've seen them doing.
Yeah.
Like,
And
but
plus,
his,
I mean, 200 grand. I mean, this is gonna sound really stupid, but that's not that much money.
nah,
Because
nah,
they got insurance for that shit. It'll be a
yeah,
fucking write-off.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So they might not even be looking for him.
yeah.
But 200 grand. If he was by himself, so 200 grand last him probably a year or so.
Yeah.
If he, you know what I mean, he's not thinking about it, as he'll be buying lean and weed for all his boys, and then a lot of these monkeys that are in gangs wanna take $10,000 and give it to the block and stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, because that fucking King Von dude was talking about that. He's from O Block in Chicago, wherever the
Mm-hmm.
fuck shithole that is.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, when he signed his deal, supposedly he had like a 50, 60 thousand dollar deal, and he's giving $10,000 to his gang, and shit like that. What the fuck are we doing?
Wow.
Fuck out of here. Like, oh no, but he was a real nigga. He used to take care of the hood. Blah, blah, blah. That shit don't mean nothing. Fucking monkey. Fucking people.
Yeah. I just, that's how I can tell. I think I'm getting old. I just don't understand the world anymore.
Yeah, and I just said some shit like that. I actually said it to an old dude. He's like 63, 62, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that I work with, and I was like, James, this is just. They say when you no longer understand the world, it's time to go. I was like, I guess I need to go because I just don't fucking get it anymore. Like, I just don't understand this shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, it's fucking disgusting, man. But
You know what? I got something that we could close with, actually.
okay,
That fits with this perfectly. So let me see, let me find. There's this guy who's on YouTube,
mm-hmm.
and he does like a bunch of movie reviews and stuff.
Okay,
He's like this real skinny white dude. I don't know. I like his stuff. It's pretty good.
okay,
But it's kind of movie nerd type shit.
right,
But he has this thing. It's sort of become like a meme in his own, like a little sort of
like an
inside joke
inside joke,
with
right?
his own stuff. He has this thing where he always says, well, here, this is what he says. Let me share my screen. Can you see the screen?
Mm-hmm. No one knows what they're doing.
Did you hear it?
No, I didn't hear
Oh,
nothing.
okay. Well, it's like this chick is like singing, like no one knows what they're doing.
Oh, okay.
But like I think that so because what he's talking about is like he'll talk about this movie. Oh, this movie was so crazy, and they did this and this that, and it was so cool, and everybody loved it, and blah blah blah. None of these people knew that this was going to work. They were just like, I got this idea. Fuck it, let's try it. We're gonna make a movie, and we're gonna have like real actors, and then we're gonna have Roger Rabbit be a cartoon, and we're just gonna see what happens. Fuck it. And people are like, "Oh my God, this was great. We loved it."
Right.
They didn't know what they were doing.
That's
Sometimes it
true.
works out, sometimes it don't.
Right.
I feel like we're in one of these big picture. I feel like we're in one of these places where a lot of stuff is just not working out.
Right.
But it's no different. It's always nobody really knows what they're doing. They're just
Right.
throwing shit at the
Yeah,
wall.
and that makes sense, and that's something that Rogan talks about a lot too.
Yeah.
Is how like nobody really knows what's going on here.
Yeah.
We're just injected into this world one day, and we're conscious, and
Hmm.
then you just follow all the norms that the people around you are doing. Who the fuck? What if we're doing this shit all wrong? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just one of them things. Like nobody, because nobody knows how to be a fucking parent. There ain't no
Yeah.
fucking textbook for that shit.
That's true.
And the ones that have written books about parenting, fuck you. You don't fucking know either. Like, and it's just one of them. Like nobody really knows what's going on. We don't know why we're here. We don't even know if anything happens when we die.
Yep.
Like we don't know shit.
Yep.
Like, oh, but we're in charge of nuclear weapons and shit like that. Oh, Jesus. It's
And
just too much.
that's why sometimes I have to take a step back, and I'm focusing on this year.
Hmm.
It's just taking a step back and realizing that like I don't have control over this stuff. Not many people do. And all of this stuff is just I'm not gonna say it's an accident, but like, I can't believe in all this Illuminati bullshit because
Right.
like no.
Right.
This shit is just too fucking wacky and just too out of control. There ain't no big plan,
Right.
big
No.
puppet string. Like, no, this is just people doing it
Again,
live.
I don't think there's a person on this earth that knows what our fucking purpose is.
Yeah.
Or if there even is one. Maybe that's
Hmm.
the fucking thing that's got everybody fucked up. Maybe
Yeah.
we really are just here and there's no consequences to anything that we ever do.
Hmm.
And it doesn't fucking matter whether you're a douchebag or you're Jesus. You know what I mean? Like, and look what they did to Jesus.
It's possible.
You know what I mean?
Never
I don't
know.
know. Right. You never know. I mean,
Yep.
that's the thing. We don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Just like the dude was saying, Roger Rabbit and who Jessica Rabbit,
Yeah.
Hinto last fucking movie.
Uh-huh.
Fuck you, have a sexy cartoon. Fuck is wrong with y'all?
Well, we made it to 3 hours.
Good.
It's
Did it
3 hours
again,
and
huh?
50 seconds, actually.
No, that ain't bad.
Yeah.
Bad. We got some chatting in.
Yeah, for sure, man.
All right. I hear pots and pans banging around upstairs. Let me
Okay.
go see what's going on.
Well, it's been a pleasure as always, man.
Yes, yes. And thanks everybody for listening.
Yes, thank you for
You know,
joining us.
like and subscribe and all that good shit. Share.
Buy some merch.
No, man, I'd be forgetting about the merch.
I do too. I need to buy some of our own merch actually. So
Right.
I need a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, man. I'm
All right,
holla at you.
man. I'll holla at you. Tell everybody I said hello.
All right, you do the same.
All right. Later, man.
All right, later.